Okay.
So you'll be live.
I think we're on.
As soon as you say live, you're on.
Okay, we're live. Hey guys. Sorry for that.
Stress.
And I'm sorry that we are also 15 minutes late. If you joined us last time, there was a really big problem where my microphone wasn't working, and that just started happening again. So that's why we're late, because we had to fix that up, but we have fixed it up now. Let me even just
You broke it, we fixed it. Is there any problems with the sound? It's Beck's fault. And you can just listen to me talk.
They can hear me.
They can hear you.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Hello, people joining us from like all over the world. I know that we have just started, so you'll all start saying hi now. Hey guys, hopefully the sound is better than last time. Today, as you will know from what I said, we are cooking dinner. Peter is going to be making us tacos. I've put his recipe down below. He's going to be making tortillas from scratch, sauce from scratch. He's just getting some ice at the moment. I apologize for the horrendous noise. I should probably flick it to Peter, actually. There he is. So we are in Peter's kitchen, and yeah, I
Self-quarantined.
Self-quarantined. My boyfriend is here, so
But he's here working because he's an IT person. He's fixing
We
my
flick it
SSL code.
We flick it to you. There you go.
It's all about you. It's all right. It's
Sorry, I
fine.
forgot. I'm still trying to calm down from my stress from before.
See the veins out of her head?
Oh, there.
Am I up here? See, that's why she's stressed. It's empty.
You idiot.
So you're going to follow me to the bar?
Yeah, all right. So
So
we'll
we're
leave it on the
starting
gimbal.
off.
Is it on the gimbal? Yes. On the gimbal.
So even though she hasn't got
This
it
is
light
Jared,
on
my
me,
boyfriend.
we are starting off. Is this too dark?
It is a little bit dark.
So we go with tequila. Oh, that is tequila. Tropical sunlight.
Oh my gosh, Peter.
Oh my God. What about aquas? Ooh. We might go to relax. We'll go that better.
Yeah, that's better.
Cool.
It's still a bad downlight, which I learned from some
won't do that.
photographer I know.
All right. So first I'm going to make. No, first, before I make this, I've got to do one other thing. Before we do an old-fashioned,
Oh my God.
Beck has to do a shot.
Oh
And
my
every
God.
time Beck makes a mistake, she's doing a shot. No, we can't do that. She'll be drunk in about 10 minutes. So I don't know if Beck can see it. This is my favourite tequila in the world.
I can't see the label because the lighting's really bad, but yeah. Oh, I could kind of see it, but anyways, just what's
Right,
it called?
so that's what, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
My dyslexia, it says 374.
Great.
Yeah, anyway, it's my favourite tequila in the world. I don't know where to buy it. I've been looking for it to buy it again. I can't. Anyway, Becca's only ever had really, really crappy tequila. So we are setting up, before I start my old fashioned, to get a tequila going. Where'd she go to?
Oh, I was just making sure that it was like
Working.
fine. Yeah,
So you can, no, you're going to need to be on.
Okay. Thankfully,
So-
I have my assistant here. My assistant.
Social distance,
Oh, sorry.
1.5 millimeters. No, you do this. There's yours. All right. You never shot good tequila. Don't spit it back in the glass.
You said I have to have a shot.
No, sip.
Oh, I feel really bad now. That was really good though.
Isn't that nice tequila?
Yeah, I just
You're
wish
not having this.
I wish I didn't shot it now.
You just shot like a $200 shot.
And I'm glad this is live on YouTube.
See what I got to put up with?
You said shot.
A shot glass. And maybe
I
said
wish I
something.
didn't waste that. That
No,
was
it's all
really
right.
good.
It is really good, isn't it?
Damn.
Damn. Sucks to be you. All right. So what I'm going to do, you're going to get back onto.
Sure.
You can leave red there. Not doing them like. All right. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do my mixture, and I'm just going to use two of my favourites.
I can't believe I just shotted that.
No, won't use that. Use this one. So I don't know if she can see it. I only use really, really good bourbons. when I'm doing my old fashions, because you'll see my old fashions are a little bit different to everybody else's in the world.
Also, just going to butt in, if anyone is asking questions, I'm really sorry I'm not at the laptop right now, so I can't answer them. But
once we've made the old fashions, we'll be back.
Yep.
That and this amazing Kentucky owl. We got Kentucky owl. I got it from Orlando. Remember that one I got from Orlando? Of all places. Of all places.
That guy was really good though.
He was really good. Yeah, suggestions are incredible. So, 2 different bourbons that will complement each other into some ice, and I'm just going to chill that down. So the whole reason for doing what I'm doing is just to chill the bourbon down, and also that ice will melt a little bit, which will bring out the flavour of the bourbon. So the next thing is
you're shotting it. Make me feel bad.
Next thing I'm going to do is prep my glasses.
And what are you burning?
This is cherry wood. Yeah, good. Oh, come on, burn. Nearly ready.
I wish there was smell-o-vision.
It smells good, doesn't it, cherry wood?
Yeah.
There we go. So as soon as it finishes, drop that over. Capture that smoke in the glass. That should be just right. Carefully pop that glass there. Let that smoke diffuse. It's basically get this nice smoky taste in the glass. That makes a massive difference to the taste of this.
Does Jared get an old fashioned as well? Or did we share one?
I can only do 2 with this.
That's right. I probably won't have too much because I'm not really a big whiskey drinker.
You're not a big tequila sip drinker, but I've changed that, haven't I?
No, you haven't. I just shot it.
Yeah, I haven't changed nothing. All right, so that's chilling down. This is getting ready. So now the trick with this is not to get any pith. That's the white stuff. So you've got to try and go as shallow as you can just to get the orange stuff without getting white stuff.
Whenever we're out and Peter orders an old fashioned, he always judges the bartender skills by if there was white.
See how it's only just slightly, but it's mainly orange. So that's what I'm after. If you get too much of the pith, it makes it bitter, and I don't want the bitterness of it. And because to me, a good old fashioned is about tasting the bourbon, not anything else. All right, so both of them are right. They're smoking down nicely. All right, so let's get...
That orange smells so good.
So I've got a couple of couple of balls. You cannot say anything in front of Beck. Right, so they've smoked enough. Let's drop them out, let the smoke come out. Let's get our balls in there. Calm it. Oops. Strain it.
All of this for a drink.
All of this for a drink.
So if this is the start of this live stream, you can imagine how fussy he's going to be when it comes to cooking.
So just get a bit of a zest on there. Rub some coronavirus around the glass.
You are so inappropriate.
You'll never make me appropriate. I was born in the year of unappropriateness. Here we go. Put that in there. Get in there. Thank you. And perfect. There you go. You can most likely. Can you film yourself in the mirror?
No.
No.
I can do
this. You can just do. Oh, you can do that. So while she spins that around, I'm going to go back into the kitchen and start cooking.
That's actually not bad.
Not bad.
Well, I'm not like a bourbon drinker, so.
But that doesn't taste like straight bourbon, does it? Does Jared like bourbon?
Yeah, he loves it.
Well, you can pass it on to Jared.
Oh, I'll like, we can sharesies it. Because I won't have a whole one. I've got wine. I've claimed it now.
Did you taste it?
Yes.
All right, so while Beck reads some questions and checks everything's right, I'm going to start making my tortilla dough. So everything we're doing is from scratch. No, we've run out of flour. I'm joking.
Doug said, get your Gucci on. Yes, I am double Gucciing it today.
Oh, you Gucci'd?
Yeah,
oh,
a double
too.
Gucci'd, but I should flip it over.
But
the funny thing is the top's fake, but the belt's real, and I wore the fake top into Gucci to get the real belt. So
as she does.
just Beck things, you know.
So I'm just got to check my measurements.
Measurements? They can't see you checking your measurements. There you go.
I'll come back at the done. Come on.
Oh, no, I've moved it. Are you checking your recipes?
My recipes, but my buttons doesn't work with flour on your fingers. There we go, tortillas. And all right, so I need
everybody.
a cup and 3/4 of flour.
Ooh, one of our viewers said if we want
That's a
tequila
cup.
to let them know. We always want tequila. Nice looking bar, Peter.
Thank you. There's a lot of time being spent in there.
Cool. Where will the live chat end? We will probably be doing this for, well, it's probably going to take Peter about 2 hours to cook. So we'll probably be live for the next 2 hours, and this will be posted on Peter's channel afterwards. If you do have to go to bed, I know that it's not great timing for everyone. Can't really time it, so it's good for everyone. But it will be available to watch later. If you guys want to watch it later.
So that was cup and 3/4 of flour. I then need teaspoon of salt. So let's see, half, 2/3, 1/4, a teaspoon. I need baking powder. And I need, the first time I ever made this, I read teaspoon as tablespoon and put a tablespoon of salt in.
Of course you did.
That's called dyslexia.
I know.
Half a teaspoon.
That's why Peter has me, because I'm good at reading and he's good at numbers. And together we're like one whole human.
No, it isn't. I'm good at, you're good at photography and I'm good at modelling. So I need 6 teaspoons of baking powder. 1, 2, any questions?
No one's actually posted questions. Everyone's just saying hi and laughing at us and
Cooking.
yeah, and saying.
And what they
like,
laugh even
"Hi."
more is my wife is a chef.
She'll be home soon as well.
And my kids prefer me to cook.
We had a question on Instagram actually. Or are you too busy?
3 tablespoons of lard. So this is just what Beck uses in her hair.
What?
That's the stuff you use in your hair. Or is this what you use for foundation?
That's what I use for foundation.
Oh yeah, that's
I
right.
need to fill in all my gaps.
Everybody, you've got to look out. Beck has a surprise coming up on her channel in 2014. She's actually going to put something up.
2014, 6 years ago.
Oh, sorry, 2024.
Let me flick it over.
When she actually decides to
I've
put
nearly finished
something up.
editing it actually, and I got
Ashley, who's Ashley?
I got this guy. You have to bend down. I got him to do my makeup. So that's really funny, and I'm editing it at the moment, so it should be up in the next few days.
Really? So what was your question?
My question was from, where did his message go? It was from Helmet, who said, thank you very much for doing these lives, and he would like to know how to recruit models for shooting. As an Instagram starter, he doesn't have, look it over, doesn't have many followers, which seems to be an obstacle for recruiting models via Instagram. What would your advice be to him to motivate models for shooting, especially ones with some modeling experience?
The hardest thing is when you're starting out is a model who's good at modeling is going to want to see photos from a photographer that they're going to say, oh cool, I want that in my folio. Today's not going to be a waste of time. And that's the hardest thing. So to get somebody who is already a reasonable model, or something you can, somebody you can work with, they're already at a level that they, oh, that one, that's no good.
This is on me.
It's no good looking at the back of that, is it? It's no good looking at, sorry, no good looking at that. It's no good going to a model that already has a lot of great photos in there, but your own folio isn't at the level her folio is. So you must likely much better to find someone who's never modeled, or someone who's just thinking about maybe modeling, finding someone you click with and just play. So find a picture she likes and copy it. Copy the lighting, the styling, copy everything about it, and keep on working together. And if her expressions aren't good enough, you can say, yeah, look, I've got my job right, but you haven't got your expressions right. And you can work together to build up. And as you start getting things right, your folio will get stronger, then you'll attract, you need to be in this sort of area. So the model and photographer need to be around here. Once the model's up here, you have to pay. And once you're up here and they're there, normally the model has to pay, unless the model has an amazing look that you love and you're prepared to spend some time to get the shot. I think my wife just got home.
Oh no, Jared's going out for a cigarette.
So yeah, it's no easy, even now. Well, Beck will even answer now, as we have trouble getting models for certain things, don't we?
Oh yeah,
It's not easy. It's to find someone who has your look.
I was doing my Instagram hunt for models a few weeks ago even, and the amount of models we found that we really liked their look. So I reached out to them. I sent them a DM or an email, how I could contact them. The amount of models that didn't even get back to us, they just totally ignored us. And this is with links to Peter's Instagram, with links to his work, and it doesn't even warrant a reply. Like not even a no, I'm not interested, or these are my rates. So it happens to everyone. Yeah, so I'm going to be noisy for a second. So I'm just going to pulse what I did. Now this is just with it hasn't got any water in there yet. So I just want to, yeah. I knew there's a reason you put that other thing on top. So I was told by a chef friend of mine, you need this to be a little bit like moist sand. Perfect. That's worked perfect. Moist sand. Beck's favourite word. I don't mind it. I'm not one of those people.
All right. So once I've got that, now I just put it onto a speed and put in. This is hot water out of the tap, around about 110 degrees Fahrenheit, I think. That's what it is. That's looking pretty good. You make dough.
Dope.
All right, just get a bit of.
Sorry, we lost Peter. Oh, there he is.
A bit of turtle killer.
Shouldn't use that.
Sorry?
Shouldn't use that.
I
guess we don't really have much of an option in terms of glass.
There's no turtles in our kitchen.
Sorry, you guys can see the tripod. I'm sorry, it looks kind of gross.
You see a tripod?
Yeah. There's no way to get Peter and then get rid of my tripod.
Oh, that's all right.
Sorry.
Come on, undo.
Let me check questions. Sorry, guys. Peter, do you add ingredients like you add light? Just play with it until it tastes / looks right.
A little bit. I find I work quite late. I work very late most nights, and for about the last 10 minutes, and it's normally me having either sipping a nice tequila, not shotting it, and I will jump onto. I've got about 15 different food channels I follow, or I might think I want to make hash browns, so I'll just type hash browns and I'll look at the fussiest person, the person who goes to the most detail about making them, and that'll be the one I try, and then I'll look at a couple of others. I'll try a few different recipes, and then I'll just add or subtract to my own taste, which is exactly what I do with my photography and my lighting. It's one thing I can't teach you guys. I can actually teach you guys how to see, and that is by you collecting your favorite images. You're training your eyes to what you like, and that's all you have to do. It's that simple. Just start collecting heaps and heaps of photography photos that you love and wish you took, preferably in the same genre. Doesn't quite work if you have car photos next to landscape, next to boudoir, next to fashion. You really want to collect this style that you want to work in, and then just look at that folder a lot, add to it, and take away, to get out the pictures you get sick of, add new pictures that you like, and that's actually training your eye. It's like eating at a lot of restaurants, and you'll find that all of a sudden there'll be a certain style of food or a certain style of restaurant, not so much as the style as in Mexican or Italian, but the standard of the quality of what they do. And then whenever you eat, you always compare the quality of what you like to eat to the new restaurant. And then whenever you... Sorry. So all I've done is wrap this up in a bit of... That's going to rest for about 20 minutes. So the exact same thing comes into lighting and cooking. Is I'm lighting to my eye, I'm cooking to my taste. The first time I made this, there's a killer. First time I made this, it was a steak and chorizo taco, and it looked really, really cool. It was a disaster. It was absolutely, well, my wife and my son both enjoyed it, but I didn't like it at all. And I didn't like, we had a recipe for tortillas, and I said to my wife, is that the same recipe? And she goes, yeah. And I said, no, don't like these tortillas anymore. So I found 5 or 6 different tortilla recipes until I found one that we liked. I then, the day after I did this for my wife and son, we had a bit of leftover steak, so I made another one the next day for Beck for lunch. She's the luckiest person in the world. Gets to start drinking at midday. No,
3 p.m.
Oh, 3 a.m. in the morning.
3 p.m.
And then, like today, what do you have for lunch today?
A burger.
A burger. And who made that burger?
You. Well, I assembled it. You made it.
Who demanded it?
I didn't demand it. You offered it.
Sorry, what would you like for lunch? I'd love a burger.
I didn't say that. You said, what do you want for lunch? I've got a burger in the fridge. I can make you a burger.
Oops. There's a seat over there.
Sorry, I can't flip cameras over. I'm having a cheeky cigarette myself.
Oh, she's sneaking a cigarette.
I'm just going to quickly interrupt. Someone asked, what can we ask about? You can ask about anything you would like.
Nothing's taboo.
Nothing is taboo. We don't have any secrets. Cooking or photography, Peter, which one is your favourite?
Photography.
Chris likes to mix them, but photography wins.
Yeah, for photography by far. Cooking's something I do on the side because I really, really like good food, and I really hate really bad restaurants. And with Beck and I travelling a lot, we get to eat in lots and lots of places. And basically our last trip, did we go to an expensive restaurant? I think we went to maybe one or two max. Everything else was street food, finding great street food like Pinky's in LA.
Oh my God, best hot dogs.
They were friggin' awesome.
Best chili dogs.
Just a trick. Everyone has all these amazing things about getting avocado out, like they slice it up and cut it. You see, I just squeeze it, it all comes straight out. So
Jared's intently watching, he's getting so many tips.
I just squeeze the avocado, and what happens, it mushes it up and it all just comes straight out. No wasting time cutting it. And I got to do 2 different batches because we've got one of those people that think coriander tastes like soap in the house.
That is Jared. He is, I don't know if anyone watching has the same thing. It's a genetic mutation that makes you think it.
So Jared's a genetic mutation. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
He's special.
People asking questions in other languages. I'm sorry, I can't understand. I can go into Google Translate in a minute and translate them for you.
I can only speak 4 languages. Well, sorry, I can't speak any one properly, but I can speak English, Australian, American, and just started to learn a little bit of Canberran.
Canberra, what?
Canberra.
Oh my god.
Well, that's a whole new language. It's where our politicians hang out.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So you interrupted me. I can't remember my question, but I'll just keep squashing up the
Sorry.
avocados.
I was just trying to keep up with questions.
That's all right. Keep up.
What does Peter think about your Instagram? We don't know what your Instagram is, and Peter also doesn't critique work because he will never be your client. So you should take photos that you love and...
You should critique your own page. What don't you like about it and fix it? Because asking me, I'm not going to be your client, so I'm going to give you the wrong answer. And I'm going to answer based on my taste. It's like asking a Ferrari guy to drive a Mercedes. He's going to go, nah, don't like Mercedes, I drive Ferraris. So if there's any colour on your page, you know I'm going to hate it. Cool.
What kind of softbox does Peter recommend for use at the kitchen while cooking? I can show you guys in a minute.
We're actually bouncing off a wall.
Yeah, we've got a HMI bouncing off of some white bits of paper that are pinned up on the wall. That is our lighting setup, plus just the
But
lights.
we do that in shoots as well. We
Yeah,
don't
always.
necessarily use proper things. We use, I've got too much guac in one bowl. What the guac?
What the god.
I need a bigger guac bowl.
Thomas has a question for both of us. Can we give some tips for directing inexperienced models?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, we have to. We deal with it a bit ourselves. The hardest thing is for an inexperienced model, they're normally shitting themselves. They're normally not comfortable. Just the studio's going to freak them out. Or if they know that you're a commercial photographer and they might have seen something in the magazine, that's going to freak them out. You've got to try and get them, you should basically got to come down to their level so they get comfortable with you to start with. A lot of the time I spend on a new model, I spend a little bit of time training, and it's mainly aimed at getting them to understand what old-fashioned real modeling is. Not what e-commerce modeling, not what selfie modeling, but have a look at some of the great models who are still working today.
Like Kate Moss, Naomi Campbell,
Claudia
Cindy Crawford, Claudia.
Yeah, all of those.
Greats from the 90s.
You'll see that they model by feel. They don't model by pose, and they don't model by trying to think of something. They might think of something to try and feel something, if that makes sense. So we're definitely going to do a couple of full-on modeling workshops for models, and we're going to most likely do some recording of them to cover a lot of the stuff I go into. But at the end of the day, one thing I say to a lot of the models is, if you look at a Kardashian, or you look at most of the
Bella Hadid.
Yeah, about all of those people, you'll see one sort of look they'll have when they're on the cover of a magazine. You'll see a different look on their face when they're being interviewed. You'll see a different look on their face when they're doing their own selfie, and you'll see a different look when the paparazzi sees them. But then if you go have a look at Kate Moss, Naomi Campbell, Adriana Lima, the only difference you'll see that when they're just, with Adriana Lima with her, say, her Instagram page, she's just a daggy mum. She's friggin' awesome. She still looks incredible. And next minute she's at some paparazzi event and she might be doing a selfie on the way in. You don't see her face change when the cameras come up to her. And then when you see her on a photo shoot, all she does, she just stands there and goes, well, everybody thinks I'm beautiful, everyone's told me I'm beautiful, so I just stand there and feel that way.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest thing to get into a model, and Beck sees it all the time with what we work with. Mm-hmm. So what I'm making guac first, something to eat while we're still cooking. How much How much boring guac are we going to give him?
I don't know, Jared, how much?
I'll just wait. No, I'll put all the other stuff in. I'll leave the soap to last. All right, so I've just used a fork. I know some people use whatever the porter mestles and pestles or whatever they're called.
Like a masher thing? Like
a masher thing, but I'm just a fan of good old, I've got them there.
I see you going over there.
Good old fork, what the fork.
Sorry guys, that was sloppy.
Jared likes a bit of chili, don't you?
I do.
So
He loves chili.
I'm not going to make this too hot because my wife will be home.
Where
So-
is she?
She's because of where she's working is under stress at the moment. So all I'm doing is I'm going to take these seeds out of this just so it doesn't get way too hot. This is a couple of jalapeno. No, I can't remember what brand they are. Anyway, they're those. I'll just take the seeds out because I don't want to make it too hot for my wife.
I just kind of remembered something that I'm going to flick it over to me. With inexperienced models as well, I find that there are some models that...
Sorry.
That's all right. I feel like it helps if... And you'll be able to tell early on if they actually want to model or if they don't. Because we see models that they know they're pretty, but they just don't... They've just been told they're pretty, so they think, oh, I can be a model, but you can tell in their face, they're like, am I doing this right? Like, if they don't want it, it's going to be so much harder because they don't want it. You've got to have someone that really wants it and has got that fire in their belly. I guess that's probably the best way I can put it.
That, and we have that thing, and we, especially in LA last year, on one of our workshops, lots of the people at the workshop got to see it, and it's the pretty girl next door, or the Marsha Brady.
Yeah.
It's a girl that it's just pretty. There doesn't seem to be anything between the ears. I'm not saying they're dumb, but it's just like, I'm pretty. It's nothing more than just that. And they're some of the hardest models to work with because they don't have anything to give. And the second they don't feel just pretty, they are terrible. They really, really struggle with a camera being lifted on them. So I normally want something that's... I definitely want something pretty on the inside. I'm always looking for something pretty on the inside because you can always bring that to the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah?
As long as you get them to feel it. Like, you get them to feel
It's all about
pretty on
feel.
the inside, and then they look pretty on the outside.
And even Beck knows. Like, Beck and I worked a lot. Well, we didn't work a heap when you were young because I was pretty busy and
I was working full time.
Yep.
So it was kind of hard.
And the industry wasn't giving me what I wanted for Beck. She was high-end haute couture, and Australia stopped even doing any of that stuff. So it really annoyed me that, to me, Beck had this look that suited Paris Milan high-end haute couture, stick skinny, lanky.
Still lanky.
A bit of a weird face.
Still have a weird face.
So all of those things that high-end fashion loves. But yeah, Australia had already started to move towards crap fashion, like Instagram. Well, Instagram wasn't around, but they was moving away from the fashion I love, which is more that haute couture type fashion, to more pritzy, plastic, not a model, but different, not a model.
Yeah,
It really annoyed me because Beck seriously would have cut it perfectly back then.
Thanks, people. Unfortunately, it never happened.
But then, yeah, once she started working with me, 15 seconds after she started, can you take my photo? I want to take my photo. Take my photo? I thought I was going to have my photo taken if I worked with you. Anyway.
What's the best?
No, I was going to finish my story.
Oh, sorry.
Can you take my photo? No. No. But Beck would say, like, Beck has been with me for over 2 years now. Really, you still really didn't start taking good photos till about a year ago.
Yeah.
And in great photos, maybe 6 months ago, you started to really understand how to feel.
Yeah. And even touching on that, we did a shoot the other day, the toilet paper one.
The poo. Oh, don't give them a. That's still got to go up.
Sorry. I know.
The
sorry,
poo
that's
shoot.
the poo shoot's coming up.
The poo shoot's coming up.
And the Inspire version that we did is like full length, but I'm not feeling too great about my body because I haven't been working out because I'm lazy and I prefer to drink wine. And I can see in the photos my jaw is really like I have this uncomfortable muscle that turns on, but I've only noticed that in the last like year. I would never.
When I pointed out to you.
Yes, that when I'm uncomfortable, my jaw tightens and does this thing, and then you see me relax and it goes to what I look like now.
Mush. Anyway, I think we answered that question.
Yes. What is the best dessert for models? What is the preferred tea for them? I can answer this because I make everyone coffees and teas. I find that models generally like green tea. I don't know why. They seem to drink tea a lot.
We used to have a few that drink chamomile.
Yeah.
Before your day.
Before my time.
But I think chamomile's gone out of vogue.
Will we come to Mexico someday? We would
definitely,
love to come
definitely.
to Mexico. We're definitely going
and
there.
then I'll get to eat real Mexican food, not my Australian version of it.
So we definitely will be coming to Mexico someday, and yes, we'll be doing a workshop there. It's just we can't travel at the moment, and also
why?
There's also only so many days in a year that we can travel, so we base all of our travel arrangements around interest, but we have had a lot of interest for South America, so fingers crossed when all countries open again, we will be planning a South America tour to do workshops and all of that fun stuff. Guacamole is delicious, yes, I cannot wait to get my paws on this.
Nearly done, I've just got to put 20 more
Who
ingredients.
inspires Peter? Do you have a favourite photographer or some guru that you take a lot of inspiration from?
I have my original inspiring photographers. Unfortunately, they're all dead now, unfortunately, but they were the people who really got me away from shooting lifestyle, landscape, stuff like that, which I used to shoot, to actually shooting people and stories.
That is a huge onion, just by the way.
Yeah. And Helmut Newton, just adore his storytelling. So clever with the way he tell a story. Peter Lindbergh and Patrick Demarchelier for the way they brought the soul out of a woman, how they just got this look out of them. This is a double apexed.
Yeah, it's huge. It's a monster.
Avedon, Irving Penn. There's so many photographers I really like. Unfortunately, when digital started, there's been less and less what I call digital photographers that I've fallen in love with, and I don't know why that is. And I remember going to one of the universities to do a talk once, and I was in the staff room. Oh no, I was in the students' room, and there was a piece of paper up there that had inspirational photographers you must look at, and it had the year that they were born. And I was looking through the list, and yeah, it had all of the people that I knew and thought were amazing photographers. And I noticed something all of a sudden, that basically the youngest photographer on that list was David LaChapelle. And there wasn't a single photographer younger than him. And I think David LaChapelle was born in about 69, 70. And that really concerns me, that the school had all these photographers on there, but nobody, well definitely nobody who was shooting predominantly digital or was trained in digital, and nobody who was born later than 1970 or whenever David LaChapelle was born. So I really thought that was crap, but that was pretty accurate. So today it is very hard for me to find photographers who inspire me, because when you look at the greats like Avedon, Newton, Lindbergh, and those people, and Beck knows herself, we've got a book in our studio which is Verushka, which is a model, and a lot of the book was shot in the 60s, and you look at the pictures and say, this is as good as anything that's come out in the last 10 years, and this was shot in the 60s. So it's sort of like, where have we gone with creativity? And I think the problem is we've died in creativity because everyone's listening to stupid camera club photographers or entering competitions who have got these people telling them what a good photo should be. People aren't, back then they didn't care for any of that stuff. All of those people were taking photos for themselves and their own style and their own look. And I think that's what's changed a lot now. So I still find a lot of inspiration out of looking at older photos. Well, a lot more inspiration out of old photos than new photos. The big downside though is now the magazines don't do proper editorial, they just do advertorial. All the newer photographers like Greg Cardell and all of those people who I really liked aren't really getting to do much because there's nothing there. Anyway, Nelly got your guac ready.
Sorry, I just realised you were clipping and I'm trying to fix that. Like, no one's complained about the audio, but...
But you're clipping.
No, you are.
I'm clipping. We'll just turn that volume down a tiny bit.
Yeah, I was trying to. I don't know if it worked.
No, on the computer thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
That's right.
That's right.
I'll try and talk softer. Is that better? So I've just put a little bit of salt in there to taste. I'm going to drop a couple of limes in it.
Yeah, you're not looking at it.
I wasn't talking, that's why I'm not pressing. Well done, Beck. Would you like another old fashioned or do you want tequila?
Still going on this one.
I mean, I'll have another shot of tequila if you guys want to see me shot.
No, not yet. We'll get onto that later.
I flick it over to me. Do we live together? No, don't. I think we would kill
Feels
each other.
like it, my God.
I live with Jared, who, if you were watching before, was in there. That is my boyfriend. So we live together. We live about half an hour away from Peter, and Peter just lives here with his wife. They've been self-isolating. She has to go to work, but other than that,
She works 1 day a week.
She works 1 day a week. Peter lives here. He doesn't really leave unless we have a shoot, but we haven't had shoots because self-isolation. Jared's been working from home for a month, so self-isolation work times.
And there's...
And whose place are we at? We're at Peter's place.
Yeah, and this is up in the hills in the forest. We don't really have much to be worried up here.
Not to say that this isn't serious, but...
No, but I mean that the case is up in the hills.
Yeah. Why black and white? We get asked this. Peter gets asked this all the time. I think I could even answer it for him now that I've answered this so many times, but I will flick it over to
Just
Peter.
needs one more thing.
It does? Oh,
Yeah,
I think...
coriander.
Well, I need to change the battery on...
So what I'm going to do, because we've got a hater in the house, how much are you going to eat, Rid?
Yeah, that should do.
That do you?
That'll do me, yeah.
Oh wait, shit, it's on me. I thought it was on the other one. Sorry, guys.
You're talking, so you just
I
looking at
do need
yourself
to.
on camera?
I need to change the battery on
All right,
your
well,
camera.
ask me a question.
But I need to change the battery so it's not going to have anything on you.
Oh, well...
That's what I mean. Maybe if I change this one to you and then I ask the question.
No, you could just... Oh, yeah, you can't do two things at once.
Yes, I can. I can change. No, that looks crap.
Looks crap. All right, quickly change. I'm just cutting up some coriander for the real people in the world. Just a tiny bit.
All right. Sorry, guys. You're going to lose Peter for uno momento. Por favor.
Well, you should have put the camera on you changing the battery. That would be worth it.
There we go. Change it on to me. And now I will quickly change. Not that they can see me because I'm over here.
Yeah, keep talking so they've got something to listen to.
The question was why black and white?
Oh, sorry, I didn't answer. There's a couple of reasons. Reason number one is all my favourite photographers. Sorry for the chip packet noise. All my favourite photographers predominantly shot in black and white. Tip number two, back in the 70s and 80s and even 90s, if you went to school to learn photography, you learnt black and white. because colour was too expensive and too hard to do. In a way, you could easily set up a black and white developing area. You didn't have to pay horrendous prices to have colour film developed.
Of coriander in there.
There's coriander free and there's chips there. And I'll do a mix with chips. Two different types of chips in that one. So there's the first thing.
Gourmet with chips,
number one was all the photographers I loved were predominantly black and white photographers. All the training that I did and a lot of my photography in the early days was black and white. I couldn't do the darkroom stuff. I was the chemicals in the darkroom gave me instant headaches. Like I'd walk into a darkroom and be able to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 migraine. So I had all my friends who were really shit photographers but loved the darkroom side of things. So I used to take photos, they used to develop them for me. So it was really cool. There's the better one.
I was just trying to make sure they couldn't hear me crunching.
Crunching. You're going to hear me crunch.
Crunch, crunch, crunch. Crunch, crunch, crunch.
So much better.
So much better.
All right.
Yeah. Sorry.
The next reason is I'm a strong believer with photography and art and visuals and sound as if you just see something you see every day, it needs to be absolutely amazing to catch your interest. But if you see something you don't see every day, it's easier to catch your interest, i.e. underwater video or photography. Slow motion video, stop frame, aerial photography, macro photography, all astrology, they're all amazing photography. Sorry, I've got half a cow sitting on my bench.
Oh my god.
So, just picking my thing. Now I put it into the fridge in a really cold area so it cuts really easy and I need my expensive knife. So if I just continue with the story. So with all of those things, because they're things that you don't see every day, they capture your eye so much better. Which, are we on this camera?
Yeah.
So I was really, really lucky for Christmas. My son-in-law and my daughter bought me this amazing knife. So I'm going to cut this up. So
sorry for my crunching, guys. This guac is really good.
Of course it's good. So if I ever made something you haven't liked? Oh, you had mushrooms in.
Yeah, probably, but like, oh, look at this. I wish I could give it to you guys, but sorry,
So,
I'm being an asshole now.
With that, we don't see black and white with our own eyes. So by having that difference of what you don't see this every day, you don't walk down the streets of New York seeing it in black and white. Perfect. So it becomes unique to you. The other thing is, I use this a lot for when I'm getting my exposures. I'm just going to digress a little bit. This is a Wagyu. And
you've been using that word a lot lately.
Yeah, that's explaining the consistency of your head.
What, digress?
No.
That's the word you've been using a lot.
I thought you meant Wagyu. Well, that's a cross-section of your brains.
Thanks.
That's right, anytime. You've messed me up.
Well, stop drinking old fashions. Joking. You were saying...
Right, so with black and white, I'm doing something lately, especially on workshops or when I'm talking or explaining things to photographers, I'll say, and even now, you can do it right now. If I say, what can you see right now? You're all going to answer the wrong question. I can't see. What can I see?
It's on this one.
So, yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm going to have to guess what they can see. Yeah. So, when I say what can you see right now, so looking out there, what can I see? You're saying, oh, I'm seeing Peter, I'm seeing a piece of meat, I'm seeing this. But how many of you have said, I can see red, I can see green, I can see yellow? Now, again, look at this scene right now and say, what can you see? And you'll absolutely instantly see colour. And that's what you actually do see. Your eyes are seeing all the colours. And once it's been pointed out to you that you walk down any street and you'll be able to go green, BMW, you'll see these colours popping out. So that's actually what you're seeing. The stronger, brighter colours is capturing your eye. As soon as you go to black and white, then you go, I see this amazing tree. Or I see this incredible pathway, because you've taken away the colour which was distracting what you're really seeing. So that's another thing I like. I quite often say, if you remove one sense, so people who have unfortunately lost their eyesight or their hearing or whatever sense they've lost, their other senses get stronger.
Yeah.
And by removing the sense of colour, I think the sense of light gets 100 times stronger. Also, when you're shooting people, I could see expression so much stronger in black and white pictures, especially in eyes. I see more thoughts in a black and white picture than I see in a colour picture. The colour, you'll go, oh, nice blue eyeshadow, or nice hair, or nice pink dress.
Yeah. Whereas
Black
your
and
photos, like, I think the biggest compliment you get is, I love the lighting, because people are only looking at the lighting.
They're seeing the light because the colour's been taken away.
Yeah.
There's plenty of pictures I've shot, and Beck is one of these people. I won't say she forces me, but she does tend to. I've shot more colour pictures of Beck than any other model, because she just looks so ugly in black and white. No, shouldn't say that. Oh my God, I'm going to get haters.
No, it's whatever.
It's what?
It's whatever. We're always going to get haters. Can't stop them.
Well, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. I'll do one more. So I'm just cutting these. Oh shit, what are we talking? About 15 millimeters. We're talking to Europe at the moment, so good. We don't have to talk about feet, inches, and Cheetos. Cheetos. 8, that should do it. Beck will eat 4. Jared will eat 4.
No, I won't eat 4. Maybe
Whole
like.
steaks.
Oh no.
That's right. So that's the black and white thing is a few things, but it is seriously, it's not like I hate colour. I think movies, I've seen a couple, there's an amazing movie, I can't remember what it was called. I think it won some Academy Awards. It was all in black and white. It was just amazing to watch a movie completely shot for black and white in this day and age. Yeah, I think I answered the question.
I think you did. So we need to, JP said we need to distinguish pretty from attractive, from photogenic, from movie-genic.
Pretty is someone who's just pretty. So to me, pretty is shallow. Pretty is very shallow. That's pretty.
You've gotten darker. I might just change this aperture a little.
Attractive. To me, attractive is like pretty. It's not deep, it's on the outside. It's just the feeling of what something looks like from the outside. It's not getting into the deep and meaningfuls. What am I going to do this on? The word that you didn't use is, do you say beauty?
No.
I shoot beautiful people. So beauty comes from inside.
Yeah.
Beauty's not on the outside. That's pretty or attractive. What's on the inside is beauty. And to me, that's the most important thing, is to be able to capture somebody's inner beauty. And that's when you'll get a model come in who you think, oh, she's a bit quirky, there's something about her. But as soon as you start taking pictures and she's enjoying what she's doing, you'll find this inner beauty just come out and sort of like goes to this next level. And Beck's seen it before. We've shot some very pretty people all around the world, haven't we?
Yeah.
But then every now and then we get someone who is beautiful.
Next level.
And it's always from the inside. It's what comes out their eyes. It's beauty is
Like Tess.
like Tess. Yeah, exactly. If you Tess from
Milan.
no, she's from Rome. Tess from Rome is one of these people that the beauty is so deep, it's really hard not to capture it in a photo. But yeah, what was the other? Beauty.
Photogenic?
Photogenic, or photogenic and non-photogenic I don't believe in. Photogenic is, how I describe it is, if you're shooting someone they don't know you're shooting them, they look amazing. But as soon as they can see or feel the camera, they're not amazing anymore.
That's because they don't like the camera.
Yeah, but it's not just don't like the camera, they don't like the experience, they don't like anything, they don't like the attention on them. So it's not even camera, they don't like that attention. So they can take an amazing photo if they don't know it's been taken, but the second you get so they know it's taken, they tighten up in their face, they're uncomfortable, so you're just seeing an uncomfortable face because they are uncomfortable. Someone who would be classed as a photogenic person is somebody who is comfortable with you pointing your finger at them or pointing a camera at them. And that doesn't mean they're beautiful, it just means their face doesn't go uncomfortable when you lift a camera. Whereas non-photogenic people go uncomfortable when you lift a camera up, so all their uncomfortable muscles turn on. How are we going for time? Am I going to get this done?
We've been going for like 56 minutes.
Well, I'm fine.
Okay. We have fallen behind on questions.
You better hurry up then.
I better flick it over to me and say that, as usual, I'm sorry that I have fallen behind not keeping up with real time with you guys. If you've joined us before with live streams, you know this does tend to happen a little bit because, as you can tell, Peter waffles on a bit. But everyone appreciates it because people have been saying thank you for the extensive answers. So that's always what we want to give you guys with these lives, is nothing but the truth and all of Peter's thoughts. So next question was...
I'll just explain what I'm doing. Just
okay.
coating
it's not
each... Oh, it's not, it doesn't matter.
Now
It's just coating each steak with some olive oil. Now that's the question.
Thoughts on Herb Ritt's work?
Oh, Herb Ritt's amazing. Yeah, it's yeah. Look, there's lots of people I didn't mention. Herb Ritt's, Irving Penn. There's lots and lots of different amazing photographers. They're just not quite my style. So it's like I like heavy rock and heavy metal. I didn't love every heavy rock and heavy metal band. I just like the ones that talk to me the best. So your Zeppelins and your Ozzy Osbourne in Black Sabbath, oh my god, Deep Purple, a little bit of Quo, not too much.
I was going to make a really bad Ozzy Osbourne joke, but I won't because the sensitive times.
He eats Doritos.
No, nothing. Anyway, let's move on. What made you go with a Sony as a secondary camera?
It took me a lot. It wasn't an easy choice. It wasn't a choice I wanted to make. Basically, my second camera was a Canon. So I had a Canon 1D X Mark II. And it was good, but it was big. Big didn't bother me because the Hasselblad's big. I think my problem was I had this amazing glass that I had found called Zeiss. And it's not because, yes, I do work for Zeiss. I don't push people. If I don't like something, I say I don't like it. But I think the big changes when I bought my first Otis, what was it? The Otis 55, I think, was the first one out. And it just brought back the old feel of medium format photography on DSLR. But my problem was at 1.4 it was to die for. Even at 2.8 it was lovely, but I absolutely loved it at 1.4, fully wide open, because it was still razor sharp in a way that the skin would still be soft but the eyes would be razor. And my miss rate on the Canon was about 60%, 60 to 7%. And my whole thing about focusing has changed a little bit, so I might have lived with a little bit longer with my new way of shooting, my new way of thinking, But back then, that miss rate was just really, really upsetting me. And it was just the fact that the viewfinder in my Canon was just way too small. I couldn't see the detail. I could not tell if it was razor sharp or not. No, especially once the light started to go, that's when it really got hard. I played around with a couple of mirrorless, and it's no different to my days when I was shooting film and making my transition to digital. The first, I think, 10 digital cameras I tried, I hated. Well, with the mirrorless, the first mirrorless I tried was the little Fuji, I think it's a Fuji 100 or something. It's just a fixed lens, tiny little thing like the RX. I was in Hollywood, went out for a day, had half a day free, decided to walk the streets of Hollywood. Couldn't pick anyone up, nobody wanted to pay me, so I decided to take some photos.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. You don't express anything left? But anyway, absolute disaster. All the pictures I took were terrible. I had this gorgeous sun coming down. Where are they? Over there. Right down through Sunset Boulevard. Was it Sunset? Was it Sunset?
Yes.
No, Hollywood Boulevard.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah. Coming down Hollywood Boulevard, the sun was amazing coming down, and I just struggled to get a picture. So I went back there the same time the next day with my Canon. Oh, what was it? It was the. Oh, it's a sports camera. I can't think what it was called. It might have been 1D. Oh, whatever. It was a sports camera. So it's a large DSLR, and yeah, big DSLR. Everyone looking at me, but I love the photos. So I'm just salting and peppering these steaks. So I spent money on a camera, didn't like what it did. It made me anti-mirrorless. So
I'm just topping up wine.
Decided mirrorless is not the way to go. Then I started to read all this hype about the Sony. And I spent 3 months watching reviews and people talking about the Sony. And I'd said to my assistant at the time, I don't want to waste money buying another friggin' mirrorless that I just throw in the rubbish bin, but we need a video camera because more and more of our clients want behind the scenes video. And low light, this new Sony A7S looks pretty cool, and everything I'm reading on it, all the reviews were all like mixed, but all the things I was saying negative about it didn't worry me. All the things I was saying positive about it, I thought, yeah, I like that. So all the negative things like not having two cards, not having the battery went flat, whoopee-doo, I'll buy 3 batteries, I'll buy 4 batteries, that doesn't worry me. But the images, they were all saying the images are incredible. So I just finished salting and peppering and oiling. I'm just going to put this aside.
Okay. Do you need me to follow you?
No, I'm just going to chuck it over here.
Oh.
I know this is a really long-winded answer, but I think it's a good... No, but I think it's a good answer for people so they actually see my process, because it's really easy to watch all these people do these reviews. And mind you, people like Tony Northup and that hated the Sony in the early days. And then they went and loved it. I'm not sure where they stand now, so I don't get time to watch review videos. But it's one of those things that you've got to look at what they don't like and then decide how that's going to affect you with how you work. So everything I was reading that hated it didn't bother me. So I did the plunge, and because I had all my Canon gear, I got myself a Metabones adapter. So at worst, I just blown my money on the lens, on the body. I hadn't made the transition across. I fell in love with that camera, and very shortly after it, the A7R2 came out, and I jumped on that. Then the A7S2 came out, and I jumped on that. And I've never looked back at, and the main reason is I don't care that it's electronic viewfinder. That is not my picture. My viewfinder is a helper. It's something that helps me take a photo. So the more information I can have in my viewfinder, the more comfortable I am while I'm taking a photo. So anything that makes me comfortable, especially on commercial sites, shoots, is going to make me take a better photo, because I'm not going to be worrying about my settings. I'm worrying about the visuals I'm seeing, not what f-stop I'm shooting or whatever else. And with the mirrorless, whatever I saw in the viewfinder was my finished picture. And then I had this other lovely little thing, which was the zebraing. So now my model could walk in and out of shade slightly, and I'd instantly see a visual in my viewfinder showing that is going to be overexposing on her shoulder, on her hair. I can adjust it on the fly while I'm looking in the viewfinder. Then there's focus peaking, which allowed me now to shoot at 1.4, walking extremely quickly with a model moving quickly, but seeing everything that's looking yellow means it's in focus. And I use yellow, so if you're ever going to use focus peaking, yellow is the best color to use. You can see it the easiest. I'm going to try not to cut my fingers off. So with those couple of things, after getting out in the field and using it, it was like, this camera is making my job so easy in the way as all I'm thinking about now is the photo. I'm not thinking about my exposure. I'm not thinking about focus, because all of those things are showing up really clearly in my viewfinder, and I can just concentrate on my job of creating a story, capturing a story, seeing the story, seeing the contrast. Well, that was the other thing. Now I can have my viewfinder turn to black and white, like every cinematographer and every TV cameraman. If you look at all their monitors, they're all black and white. And the reason they want them black and white, because they don't want to see that red BMW in the background. They don't want to see that yellow cement mixer. They just want to see contrast and light. And when you remove that and have that ability in your viewfinder now that you're only seeing your luminosity, not seeing color, it makes me so confident about my lighting and confident about my exposure, my focusing. I can now purposely defocus because I can see where I've defocused. If I've defocused forward or backwards, it's going to show me. So all of those reasons is why my second camera is a Sony and why it is a mirrorless. Sony, a very clever company. They bought out Minolta and they made what used to be an amazing camera, mirrorless and digitally amazing. So yeah, long answer, sorry, but it's the first time I answered this like this. So I think it's very important that people understand. I love my medium format. I still love it. It has a feel about it which I can't get out of a Sony. I'm doing some really
Can't get out of a Sony?
Sorry?
Oh yeah, your Hasselblad.
My Hasselblad.
I got confused about the camera you were talking about.
There's just very subtle things, and especially using the focus program, there's just so many little subtle things that I can do with my Hasselblad that I can't do with my Sony, but you also are talking about a camera that's nearly 10 times the price. So, yeah. Sorry, that was a really long answer.
That's okay.
So let's just do quick questions for a bit.
Right,
so you can catch up. Have you?
So just for me to catch up, any influence from Annie Leibovitz?
No, not a. I love Annie Leibovitz. She's an amazing photographer, but not my style. Her stuff is super posed. I don't see emotions in her picture. I see amazing lighting. I see amazing setups with sets, but I do not see the real person in the photo. And I'm more after shit lighting and crappy sets, but actually seeing that amazing person within the photo.
That's just your thing.
That's my thing. She's an amazing photographer. Don't get me wrong, but just not my style.
It would be great to see you do some medium format film work if you have time.
How do you want to see it? I can't do it as a live stream because you can't see the images.
Sorry, Peter's at the fridge and you can't see him.
I can't see him at the fridge. What, the fridge?
I could move it, but I'm trying to get through questions.
Basically, yeah,
Thanks, Jared.
we've had a couple of people talk about this. The only difference is I'm going to shoot a lot less because it costs a fortune. I do shoot, like Beck knows. I've got, if we took the camera around in my office, there's an Ecamm scanner around there now. We did a whole heap of film the other day. But the time it takes is just horrendously long. And
Yeah, it's a bit hard.
I'm not seeing the amazing benefits because I found how to do that same look digitally, and we do have a tutorial when I finally get it edited for both YouTube and Inspire, showing some of my tricks. And anybody who wants it, if you jump onto my Instagram page and look at the picture I put up yesterday, Paloma, have a look at that. That feels like medium format to large format film. And there were just tricks I used to force that look that I used to get out of film. But I can do a film on it. To me, it's going to be boring. I can take 12 frames and that's it. Because I'm just going to work with the model, get my 12 frames, and that's the end of the actual tutorial. So
Until we like scan and upload photos.
yeah, but still, yeah.
That's going to take time.
Well, I've got to send them off to be developed first.
Exactly. Dee Dee says that, I'll flick it to me. Dee Dee says that she
me.
didn't know that Peter is a gifted chef too. Yes, he is. Oh my god, my RS
I'm
battery is
gifted.
about to die.
I'm not gifted.
No, he kind of is. I need to change this.
Is that dying already? I told you they were going to die
It's
quick.
okay. I've got things I can change it. In the 70s, colour was associated with snapshots and advertising, except for Nat Geo, art and journalistic photography, which were associated with black and white. Sam has said that black and white has soul.
But some people, colour has soul. Like David LaChapelle, I don't think I've ever seen a picture from him. And he has a lot of soul in his pictures, but he works on those high saturated colours, and that makes it pop. And there is photographers I still love that do beautiful colour work, but just for me personally, it's like asking a country and western freaking guitarist to do heavy metal. Everyone has their own style that they like, and I'm always going to be better doing what I like than what I don't like.
Yes.
Oh, you're breaking it.
No, I'm not breaking it.
You're
I'll
cooking
just
it.
leave it on you. You're cooking it. Happy to see you in the real world. Yes, this is what we are like in real life.
No, it's not. We're faking. We're nothing like this. We're boring people that sit in corners and rock backwards and forwards.
People say when they come to workshops, they're like, whoa, it's so funny you guys are actually like you are on YouTube in real life. Because we just keep it real.
Yeah, brain's not strong enough to be able to do fake and real.
Push that. Oh no, I nearly got it.
So I'm just
So I was just getting Jared, who doesn't have fake nails, to
because
get
of,
my battery out. Thanks.
Oh yeah.
Thanks. My personal assistant.
What would you do without me?
I would not be able to get that out. Is what I would do without you.
She would get another lip job done.
I am. I'm totally getting my lips done next week. I'm so excited. Someone has a question for me. If we came to Mexico, would I like to shoot with you? Yes, I am jumping back in the modeling game. If we do come to Mexico, hit me up. I will let you know my rates, and obviously we can organise something.
She doesn't work for free.
Yes. So people are getting hungry. What about composition, Peter?
What do they mean?
I don't know what that means. I just saw a question.
Composition. All right, my composition is whatever I see in the viewfinder that looks nice, I click.
Yeah.
I try and create my photo. Thinking I'm forgetting. Oh yeah, I forgot to get myself another drink.
Do you want me to follow you to the bar after I turn?
No, this is I'll bring it here. Composition, yeah. All right. I say this a bit. If you're a painter, you don't have a 1 metre by 4 metre canvas
Sorry, Peter disappeared.
and then paint a picture on it, then get out a pair of scissors and cut your picture out of the canvas. I think this is where a lot of photographers go wrong.
Oh, we're having the fireball, Peter.
No, it's not. So my composition, what looks good in my viewfinder, and this is one of the reasons you see me shoot a little bit on, a lot on tripod, is because I like to get my composition how I want the finished picture in the viewfinder, and then concentrate on getting the actual look afterwards. This drink's a little special drink of mine, so it's a bit of Fireball, room temperature.
A little special drink.
Awesome glasses, they're from Nolan. They don't pay me to say this, but they're those double side glasses, so you don't warm the inside. So by putting some room temperature Fireball, about half on the rocks, right? So
It looks a little bit more than half.
it's close. Then it's some SoCo, some Southern Comfort from the freezer over the top. What happens is hot rises, cold falls, and it will blend itself. That you'll have stronger Southern, then there's a beautiful blend in the middle, then it goes stronger Fireball at the end, and it's my favourite second last drink of the day. Anyway, back onto what I said. Yeah, composition, seriously. Look at the picture through your viewfinder and make your composition right in here. Don't think of rules of thirds or any of that shit. It's all wrong. I had someone have a go at me about, how many people had a shoot with Beck, and all these people, why'd you cut her feet off? Why'd you cut her feet off?
Even if you guys, after this live stream, if you go to the video of the shoot, it's on YouTube. If you scroll through the comments of the shooting with Beck of me in lingerie, the amount of comments on there that are like, why did you cut her feet off? Because
if you looked at the full view, she had that horrible stocking foot. And I didn't want to put high heels because it wasn't the look I was after. I didn't want to put any shoe I put on her would have changed the feel of the shot. But by taking her feet out of the shot, it didn't change the feel of the shot. I had some guy say that I have no rules. Whatever you like when you look in, that's your look, and that's what you should be shooting, your look. And I'll finish talking. I'm trying to think what I should be doing next. Oh yeah, I've got to do sauce.
I asked you if you were going to get stressed, and you said no.
No, I'm not getting stressed. I just couldn't remember. I knew there's one other thing I had to make. Sauce. So, with looking through the viewfinder, I decide this is my picture. This is what I show the world. And I very, very, very rarely ever crop that picture.
Oh, I just saw another question, sorry. John, who asked this composition thing, he said meant composition of colour.
Composition of colour?
Yeah.
Colour's hard. I see so many people shoot colour and not get their colour families right. Colour families are very, 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 very important. Now, I don't know if I upset Jake or not, because I said a comment on one of them. It was a joke if you got upset, Jake, and you're watching this. It wasn't meant as a thing. It's just you shoot your colour, I shoot my black and white.
Yeah.
If you really want to understand colour, seriously, Jake has some tutorials out that does this beautiful explanation about complementary and complementary opposites. And when you can understand colour families and things like that, your colour photography will go through the roof. Yeah, I think that should have answered.
Let me flick it over.
Quarter of a
this
cup
is
of
Bella,
mayo.
by the way. It's Peter's little teacup Yorkie. She's the best. Where did the question go?
So I'm just making my version of.
Sorry,
it's
I'll
like
flick it over to Peter while I find my question.
It's like a Thousand Island sauce. A quarter of a cup. Thought I'd use more than that.
I do have this recipe down in the description.
Yeah, so this is just making my version of Thousand Island sauce, which I normally use on burgers, but with my redoing this steak taco, this is amazing.
So you say.
Yeah, so I say. Next question.
What do you think of LED continuous light photography?
Some of the new stuff's just incredible, especially the RGB stuff. Absolutely amazing. I don't have much, but I played a bit with the ARIA stuff and that. It's just unbelievable control that you can have over colour. So yeah, it's the way of the future. It's definitely better than HMI.
With all the cooking equipment you've got around, do you also own a big green egg grill or something similar?
I have a Primo. So if you know what I'm talking, it's a big ceramic primo, and we do ribs in there. See, I can't do them live because my ribs take about 3.5 hours. My brisket takes about 12 hours.
Oh my gosh, we're falling so behind.
We could most likely do my black hamburger. Maybe if this Corona thing hangs around for another month.
Laurie's watching. He said, "Where's the tequila?"
Laurie's most likely supposed to be
Peter's son-in-law.
He works for CUB making beer. Get back to work, otherwise we're not going to have any beer.
So yeah, this is how far behind we are. Someone said great taste in music for when you were talking about that ages ago. Then same person, I'm sorry, I'm not too sure what your name is, but have you ever shot musicians, Peter?
Yeah, that's how I started. That's exactly where I started. I was a muso myself. Tablespoon of horseradish. I'll just use 3 of them. Yeah,
I'm going to flip it over to me while I change the battery on Peter's camera.
I found out back when I was about 15 that if you had a big, expensive looking camera and you go into a rock concert and pretend that you're something special, they would let you into the mosh pit, which was where the photographers used to hang. And if you looked a little bit different to the other photographers, the bands would come over and pose for you. And maybe too much. That's where I actually started shooting. I was really lucky. My first sort of shoot that I ever did that really stands out was Chuck Berry at a place called Festival Hall in Melbourne, and A1 sauce. So I'm supposed to use A1 sauce, but I find this Jack Daniel's sauce is...
Oh, don't say Jack Daniel's sauce around Jared, he might get a bit excited.
I was looking at that for a while there.
No, Jared's not mic'd, but he said that he was looking at it for a while.
Paprika.
So yeah, that's how Peter started, was shooting.
That's pretty much how I started. So I was lucky enough to, when I turned up to Chuck Berry, so I was just this skinny, long-haired young git with a big Minolta and a Metz flash. Not too hot. Hot English to the Stoke Dijon to the shadow. Yep. Chuck Berry actually said something to one of the roadies on the side who came around and grabbed me, and I thought I was in trouble. And he walked me up backstage and walked me onto the stage and sat me down next to Chuck Berry's amplifier to shoot Chuck Berry from stage, off stage. And I think Chuck Berry spent more time posing to my camera than he did playing to the crowd. I got to shoot bands like Status Quo, Deep Purple, Queen. Who are some of the other bands that... Susie Quattro, shot her once or twice. Yeah, I absolutely love it. I don't do it much. There's lots and lots of people do it. Commercially, it's not viable because every single band's run out of money by the time they get to their photo shoot. They always spend a fortune on their the recording. They'll spend all their money in the recording studio and having it remixed in another country. Then it comes time for a video. Then they have to take loans out for that. Then it comes to still photography. They got no money, but if they make it famous, we'll use you. That's good.
So you say. I'm just going to quickly say to Simon, who said that Peter's volume is loud and he should use his inside voice. I know I tell him it all the time. I think the problem is when we were doing testing, he had his head up, but he's cooking, so his head's constantly down like that.
Just turn my volume down a little bit.
I tried to, and it's not going down. I'm sorry, guys. It's fine.
You know, I hate distorted sound.
I know. It's not distorted. I keep checking it, but it is loud.
Can't you just on that button?
It's not working. I tried to do it.
Is yours? All right, I'll try and talk softer. I won't get excited. Right.
No, you can. I'll try and figure it out.
I'll just try and talk softly.
No, I'll just try and figure it out.
Talk very loudly, all right. Stop being what were we talking about?
You were talking about shooting musicians.
Yeah, so absolutely love it. I got the privilege to photograph Virgil Donati the other day. Anybody who knows him and Jack Jones, that was such good fun. Yeah, no, absolutely love shooting musicians.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Stay in the home. As you can see, we are in the home. We are in Peter's home and we have all been self-isolating. We are good.
We're on the home straight.
Looks delicious. It is
We're on the home
delicious. I
straight.
wish we could share it with you guys. I'll give you guys some smell-o-vision, but unfortunately, we're not quite there yet in 2020.
All right, so it's time to
Warren
make some golf
is
balls.
joining us saying this is where the famous kitchen is. Yes, this is the famous kitchen. Darren said this is a bit off the wall, but he has a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. Shoot with that in RAW and then take 4K frames in TIFF format to work on. Would he be better to just shoot a single frame?
Really, really hard to answer this. Back a few years ago, Red came out. I think it was Dragon they came out. It was an incredible camera and we could actually pull nearly medium format frames off a still. And I had a bit of a play with that. It was novel, but instead of going through 1,000 frames for a photo shoot, it was 30,000 frames.
Ew.
But then they came up with, this is going to be fun, messy time. This will be mixed now. Perfectly, just leave it there. It mixes
God,
absolutely
wow.
perfectly.
Get excited, why don't you?
That was good. So that was a bit of a problem. We were talking to the guys from Red. They then came out with this nice little thing, so you could sit next to the video and go click, click, click when you would take your photos, and or to put a mark in the video for you to go in and look at. And that did definitely make it quicker. It's not a golf ball. I've got to make a way of cutting these perfectly so they're golf ball sizes. That's about a golf ball, isn't it? Is that a golf ball?
Yeah.
I'm just going to interrupt.
Is that like a
and say I
mandarin
can't
nut?
stop. I wouldn't know, gross. I don't want to know.
All right, so just.
I can't stop eating
Oh,
this
so you go.
guacamole, by the way. So I'm just having...
Oh, Jared's finished his and he can't eat ours because it's got soap in it.
Yeah.
Do you want? Yeah, you can. The bar's over there.
He's got a wine. I bought him a wine.
Who are we talking about?
You were talking about Red Dragon?
Oh yeah. So, and it wasn't the way I shoot. I've always tended to shoot more film way. So wait for the moment, snap the picture. If I need to click a couple to get the model to move, I'll just click a couple and say they're wasters. Get the model to move and then take. Oh my God, dog's getting angry at me. Take my shot. Oh, my wife just got home.
Oh, I'm sure.
Shh, shh, don't let it see you. So, yeah, with it, I found a little bit alien and different to how I worked. And then come on a few years, and unfortunately, Peter Lindbergh, well, I'd seen him do it before. When he brought out his last Pirelli calendar, I watched him shooting, and I thought, what's he doing? He was holding the camera lens, so I knew he wasn't manually focusing. I wasn't watching, I could not see him move the camera up and down to recompose, but it didn't look like he'd had the picture set, so it was, her face was on this square over here. So I sort of gathered that, well, I think he's using like a face detection or something. He was shooting on a Nikon. And he was motor driving. And to me, Peter Lindbergh was a film photographer from years back. Like, he's pretty much always shot film and shoots digital just for commercial comfort. Then when he passed away, because I think it was that night in New York, when we got to New York, I watched a couple of the sad videos and some of the things.
Oh wait, we're talking about Peter Lindbergh. Sorry, I
Peter
zoned out
Lindbergh.
while I was reading.
Yeah. And I noticed on this new behind the scenes footage that I was seeing that Orly shot, and now I'm sitting there going, he is definitely on either eye detect or face detect. He was shooting a 7200 and he was firing those frames off, but he was just going nothing, 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 and firing off 10 or 15 frames. And I tried this a few years ago and it was a disaster. I got worse pictures. But the difference is when I tried it with someone who wasn't a model. I tried it with somebody who was my assistant, who was definitely not a model at the time. No, it wasn't Beck. She's not an assistant. She just sits there, drinks my wine and eats all my guac.
You guys are now getting the sass that I get every day.
The sass you get.
I would never sass you.
The next live stream is going to be first thing in the morning before you've had a coffee.
Please no.
Yeah, right. And you'll see what both Jared and I have to put up with. Right, Jared?
Yeah.
No coffee Beck is the worst Beck in the world.
Yeah, or no wine Beck.
Or no wine. Yeah, if wine runs out or someone drank her last bit of wine, you can come in.
Peter's wife just got home.
Can you put clothes on first, though? Oh my God. So back on story, nearly finished the golf balls. Golf's banned in Victoria at the moment, thanks to our government. Not that I play golf.
Yeah, I'll get you one.
So I decided to try this thing again because I thought, Peter Lindbergh's photos are lovely. I love his work. Why is he doing this? So I tried it with a model this time. And I think it was actually Beck. I tried it on.
There's a bottle
and it was amazing because now what happened is I still clicked the shutter at the same time I would click my shutter even if I was shooting on film. So my first frame would be at that exact same moment. But then if it looked good, I just held my finger on there a bit longer. And so often I found that the second frame or the third frame was the killer frame. And in talking to a few models that I'd worked with, like Rara and like Beck, they both said to me, this is really strange, you've never shot this way, but it's actually like you going cool, 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 cool really quickly. Because the longer you held your finger on the shutter, the more it meant what we were doing was good, which meant the more we did what we were doing because we felt good and the pictures got better. So with my Hasselblad, I still don't do that. But now if I'm trying to get that little bit extra emotion out of someone, I'm jumping on that motor drive and banging it out.
Yes.
So yes?
Trying to feed your wife guacamole.
You're feeding my wife guacamole.
What do you think of the Canon EOS R?
EOS R, is that the new, if it's a new mirrorless, leave it alone, wait for Canon and Nikon to bring out a version 2 or 3. They can't go from 4 years behind to having something that's up to the standard of your Fujis and your Sonys. Both, and look, I love Canon. I'm not one of these people, but I don't think there's lots of the autofocus is, I've heard, I've never used one, but I've heard the autofocus is a bit ordinary, and there's lots of things I've heard that are a bit ordinary. But I need to start squashing this shit.
Yes, I need to. We're falling really behind on questions as well.
All right, so yeah, basically I'm not canning them because they're all good camera companies, but I would wait to V3, both Nikon and Canon should be amazing. Just if you're on DSLRs now, just stick to it, or if you're really frustrated with them, jump onto a Sony or even the Hasselblad X is not bad, but I'm not finding what I'm reading about, because I haven't used one. Everything I'm reading about is still not saying amazing.
I can quickly answer this one. This is Shireen, by the way, everyone. This is Peter's wife. Hello. Hello. You've got to wave to that camera. Has Peter tried the digital Fuji? No, he has not tried the medium format Fuji yet. He has nothing against them. He just hasn't had a chance to try them. And
for me to try it, how do I try it? Do I have to go and hire one? So it's not something, and for me to go, say, to a store that might lend me one, it's an hour's drive there, an hour drive, that's 2 hours of my day gone to try it. So it's not something that's high up on my to-do at the moment.
Lachlan, who asked about doing the film tutorial, said maybe for Inspire. We could definitely do something.
Yeah, we could do something. Well, I could do right through for the scanning.
Yeah, that could be
Because-
really cool. We might. Now that we've got all the time in the world, now that all of our workshops are postponed, we could definitely do that. Nice shirt. Peter, do you have any for sale? Yes, we do. The link for the t-shirts is down in the description. I leave everything down there, which includes links to Inspire, links to where you can buy t-shirts. It also has all of the gear that we're using at the moment listed. Speaking of, I know that Peter's sound is clipping a little bit because he isn't using... No, it's because he's tilting his head down and we didn't test for him tilting his head down. It's fine. No one's really complained. Someone just said it was
I'm going to complain because I hate clipping.
It's not clipping. It sounded okay
You just
to me.
said clipping.
It wasn't clipping. I don't think Peter might complain.
I'm just loud and angry.
You just get excited.
Very easily.
And yeah, so but the new sound mix we're using is awesome. I know last time, if you guys tuned in, my sound wasn't working. We now have this awesome new little thing. It is by a brand called Audience, and it's the Evo 4. Not sponsored at all, just wanted to give a shout out for how bloody easy the thing is to use. It was so quick to set up. So link to that is below if anyone's interested for your own live streams and stuff.
And they're not expensive too. They're very well priced.
$200?
Maybe even less than that.
It's awesome and it's idiot proof. I could figure it out. Warren agrees with you, Jared. Coriander hater.
Thank you.
Peter, what knives do you use?
Don't know. I showed the box before. That was a special knife. These are shit. I can't read. What is it? Don't grab it with your fingers.
Baccarat Damashiro.
Yeah, that.
It's like not in.
Like it's like everything I do. If I'm going to do something, I do like good tools. Like not everything I do. If I did that, I'd have a better assistant. But yeah, so with my sim racing, with my camera gear, and when I'm cooking, I tend to, if the tools don't do their job properly, I start looking on YouTube to find what's the better tool to use. Yeah, YouTube's my saviour.
YouTube is great. Anytime I need to do anything, I just look up a tutorial on YouTube. I completely agree with, obviously it's not your real name, but fast to presume there are no rules. We learn the rules so we can break them. I actually got taught that in photography at high school, but I was exactly like Peter. When I got taught photography, they were like, you've got to do 3-point lighting. And I was like, well, what if I don't want 3 lights? They're like, you've got to learn that so then you can break the rules. I was like, well, why can't I just break them? Like, I don't want to learn the rules. The rules suck. Do you still use medium format, Peter, even though it's not for printing purposes? What is the difference when you only post it on Instagram?
Oh, yeah, you'll see everything I post. I list the if it says hashtag Hasselblad, it means it was shot medium format. And I'd still say I would be still shooting 70% of my work would be on medium format. There'd only be a lot of the stuff that I'm doing with natural light these days is more likely to natural light and location work, and when we travel I tend to use the Sony much more, and it's mainly because it boils down to when I'm using my medium format, I'm using it tethered, which means I can have the comfortability of seeing my image, so I can feel comfortable with what I'm shooting is what I want. In places where I can't use that, I just jump on the Sony because then I can see that in the viewfinder.
Do you like longer lenses more?
I tend to use longer lenses more. I do. If I'm shooting proper high-end fashion, I love shooting on something like a 35 or less. But for most of my beauty and portrait, I will tend to be equivalent of 85 or longer.
Ooh, can I chime in with this one?
Can you chime in with this one?
A good thing about longer lenses, back when I was 19 or 20, me and Peter did this shoot. I wasn't like implied nude. I was still wearing underwear, but it was with my cat, and it was probably one of the most risque, like-ish photos that Peter had done. Yeah, I was wearing a bra and undies. I was fully covered.
Oh, that's right. So yeah, I
but
remember.
it was one of the more risque things that I'd done with
It
Peter
was not.
at that time.
I think it's the first time I ever shot you in lingerie.
Yeah. So
Right.
to get me to feel comfortable, Peter put on like
300 mil
300
lens
mil lens.
on
So
Hasselblad.
he was on the other side of the studio
I was
to
at the
where
wall.
he was,
I was literally...
to where he was shooting me. And there was so much distance, so that way it didn't actually feel like he was there in my face with the camera. It just felt like he was on the other side of the room, and that made me so much more comfortable. But we still got that tight in shot because it was such a long lens. So that as from my point of view as a model,
And is that the long and short of it?
yes, as a model, that's why longer lenses are good, because it gives you the distance between model and photographer. It gives them the space and it makes them feel better. Anyways.
He had really bad BO that day. That was the real reason.
So funny. People are saying volume is fine.
Cool. I'll just talk a lot softer.
Yeah. Change position of your mic. That's okay. We are sorry we didn't test the bobbers.
Didn't think of that.
Yeah, we didn't.
Stick it around there.
We
Is that
did.
better?
I hope so.
stuck it round. So
This
now
is
you're gonna-
delayed and
now
I'm
you're
really
gonna
behind
hear-
in comments.
Now you're going to hear my brain noises because it's at the back
Well,
of my
nothing really happens in there anyway.
Oh. See the stuff I have to put up with? I got to put up with this. She puts me down every day, all day.
Coming back to LED, thank you for the answer, by the way. Can you expand a bit? Do you think a photographer of the future trying to make studio work should skip flash and go only for LED, or a mixture of both?
Ooh, that's harder. No, the flash we can freeze.
Artwork, not commercial.
Sorry, for
artwork, not commercial.
as long as he doesn't want to shoot fast moving things like dances and so forth, that's fine. No problem at all with that. Even commercial, it's if you're only shooting portrait and things like that, you're not a problem at all at just shooting with LEDs or constants. It's only when you need to shoot things that are moving quickly and you can't get enough light to pull up to a thousandth of a second or something, that's when the LEDs will give you a bit more trouble.
I'm just changing. I don't like what it looks like.
You don't like what it looks
You
like.
trained my eyes.
I've trained you, or I broke you.
Who knows?
Really got to hurry up on this.
Mark is trying to figure out why Peter Lindbergh shot through a music note stand. Any idea why?
I was thinking exactly the same thing. I really feel, and I've done it before myself, sometimes it's really, really good to have something in the foreground between, and I think I saw it, I think he used one or two of the pictures. I don't think he used many of the pictures for the calendar, but I got a feeling that one or two I could just feel of. If you get up really close, like perfect example, if you get up close to a wire fence and put your lens right up against the wire, you shoot it, you don't see the wire. But there'll be this slightly blurry or furry bit. I think the behind the scenes footage was showing him playing. I don't know how many of those pictures he actually used, but I have definitely done that same type of thing before, where you put some type of structure up close to the camera to cast a sort of like, you can use it to vignette your shots, you can use it to frame up your shots a little bit, but you don't really see it because the light goes around it. So it sort of more gives an area that's nearly like a bokeh effect. But I was thinking exactly the same thing. When I saw the making of, I thought, yeah, this is really cool, but I can't remember seeing a photo of when he was shooting like that. But then when I looked very carefully at some of these photos, I thought, oh, there's just a very slight feel that there might have been that bit of sort of blurriness as it could have been the actual stand.
Just an FYI for yourself, Peter, I just listened to our sound and it does sound a lot better now that you've moved your mic away.
Cool.
Not that anyone said anything, well, not that I've gotten to that anyways. But anyways, Helmut has joined us and he was the one who asked that
Helmut
first...
Newton?
unless he's coming to us from the grave. But Helmet is one of our followers, and he was the one. I'll flick it to me. Sorry. He was the one who asked us at the beginning. Well, he asked us on Instagram. We answered at the beginning about finding models, and So now he's saying one more question about models and agencies. Assuming you're looking for a model via an agency, what information do you provide them, as much as possible, or only the basic ones? I guess this might be even probably something that I can answer, because
That's Beck's job.
It's my job. It's my job to contact the agencies, and yeah, I'm as transparent as I possibly can be. If we're looking for a model for a workshop, I let them know, hey, we need a model for a workshop. This is purely Peter teaching people about lighting. The photographers get their chance to take photos. This is Peter's work. You're going to see a lot of nudity. We never allow nudity on a workshop. Like, that's not on. This is purely them teaching lighting. I am super transparent with all of that. And if it's for a test shoot, pretty much the same thing.
Can I interrupt?
Yes.
Please, just a little bit. The only one thing we select some pictures as a storyboard of what we intend to do. Now, we just have the same pictures we use for every model.
Yeah.
Because we don't actually know what we're going to do till the model turns up.
And we see what
they look like and what they like.
And what their personality's like.
Yeah, so we tend to send the agency, this is what we want to do with your model. This is our mood board. And by the way, if you have a look at our site, you'll see a lot of skin, but Peter only ever works to a model's comfort zone. We never ever ask a model to go outside their comfort zone. And they have a lot of say in the wardrobe and the styling of the shoot. Then I'll throw it back to Beck.
Yeah, and workshops is a bit different, because it's a bit more of we kind of have a set thing we're doing, but for test shoots, that's something I do harp on a lot. Like, once you look at Peter's work, you're going to see skin, and you're going to be like, we're not sending our girls. They're going to be getting nude. And it's like, no, that's not what we're doing. We get them to pick out their photos. They pick the wardrobe. They get to do their own hair and makeup most of the time as well. So, especially for first test shoots, we rarely use makeup artists.
Yeah, it takes up too much time.
And it's always to the model's comfortability. And I've had a few agencies not even get back to me, but most of the time they're pretty understanding. They're like, that's really cool. We've never had someone say that the model can say what they want to put in their folio. And that's always what we're trying to push, is that we want the model to have as much say, so that she's comfortable, so that she looks better, so that she gets something for her folio and Peter gets something for his as well, because that's what a test shoot should be. It should be a mutual thing where you're both getting something to use. So I just try and be as transparent as possible. I think that was a messy answer.
It was a bit messy, but that's all right. You're a messy person. How's your wine going?
I tried to convey what I was trying to say.
You did fine.
Thanks.
Next question.
Next question.
Stop wasting the world.
These tortillas are going to be the bomb. Yeah, they are.
I have got tortilla press, and the first time my wife made tortillas, it was nice, but they never seem to press it super skinny. They might come out nice and round, but they're nowhere near as thin as what these will be. So I've just found it so much better. What?
Can I be really inappropriate with the next
You're
one?
always inappropriate. So, in fact, I'm not going to get ripped a new one. So yeah, you can get ripped a new one from now.
Lachlan just sent well, not just, but
is
just
that
before.
Lachlan I know, or?
I'm not
Is he
too
an
sure,
actor,
but
Lachlan?
he was, no, he was asking questions before. I don't know if you've been watching since the start when Peter had the ice cubes that were shaped like balls and I was being inappropriate, but Lachlan's comment was held for review and I've had to say allow, but because the start of it says I weigh my balls and I just...
He weighs his balls?
He means the toe balls, but sorry, I'm really inappropriate and really immature. I'll never grow up.
Which balls?
27 going on 12. But he said the easiest way to get them the same size or use an ice cream scoop.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, there you go. Joseph said modelling agencies usually want to see your site before sending models out.
Yep.
They
Seriously.
always want to see your site. They always want to see a mood board. They want to see your work. They want to see what you're intending on doing. They want to see everything. And that's why I always send a mood board. I always send links. I'm always as transparent as possible and just let them know. Just because you see skin doesn't mean that we're going to be like, okay, get naked. Because I think I've only seen, like, no one ever actually comes to the studio and is just nude. We use so many tricks to give it that look.
Oh, you've seen one or two.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
I've seen, like, there's very few.
Very few, because that's not what I do.
And Shay, Domini, there's very few that I see that actually
are nude
models. But other than that, everyone is always covered. We have so many tricks that we use.
But how many models at the start go through the inspiration folder where they can pick the pictures and they pick implied topless? Mm-hmm. Like, nearly every single model picks the implied topless picture.
They always want to do that, but then
we show them how to do it without them
actually having to be topless. It's like, okay, let's put on a strapless. It's just like a boob tube, like a strapless top, and we'll just crop the photo here, and all of a sudden you've got bare shoulders. It's got that feel, or the tape trick, or there's so many tricks that we use.
The main thing is, if you just think of it as yourself, regardless who's listening, but if you had to stand in front of a camera, butt naked, imagine how you would feel. So how am I going to get an amazing face? It's impossible. I cannot get some incredible face while you're feeling that uncomfortable. But now if I've got you in, say, a bikini, and most girls are happy being in a bikini because they go down the beach, they go out in public in it. And now we just pose it in a way that you can't see the bikini. I've now got that amazing face. They see the shot come up on my computer screen. They go, oh my God, this is amazing. I'm nude without being nude. And we know they're going to get incredible photos. And at the end of the day, it's our trickery, but we're only trying to create beautiful photography.
Exactly. And it's like, I don't know how many people watching right now have seen me in Times Square. And we did the exact same thing on Hollywood Boulevard. Like, do you think I would, like, I mean, I'm not a nude model, I'm not even a topless model, I will literally never be naked, and the only person that gets to see that is the one sitting over here who you can't see in the camera.
And ever since he saw her naked, he will not touch cilantro. He just will not go near it. See what it did to him? So it's a warning. Beck nude will turn you off cilantro for life.
You're such a sasspot. But yeah, like, there are tricks to doing it. You can make people give that feel and give that, like, I don't know if that's the look you want. That's the look. I don't know. I'm getting lost. I'm gonna stop answering questions. Sorry.
I finished rolling.
They can't see you. It's on me at the moment. It's the Beck show now.
You keep on. You
free set of steak knives with every subscriber.
Hey, I got some nice steak knives 2 years ago. Boom. All right, so I need to, while you're looking at the next question, I'm going to fire up the barbecue.
What wine am I drinking? I'm drinking a Shiraz. I should flick it over to me because Peter disappeared. I will follow him with the gimbal in a second. I'm drinking a Shiraz. I don't need to pour another one though, I just ran out. What time do you have? It is 8:10 in Australia at the moment, in Melbourne, Australia. Oh, on all of the east side now, daylight savings ended. People are tuning off. Good night, guys. Not that you're here anymore because you've already gone to bed, but thanks for watching.
Good stuff's coming soon.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, the guac. No wonder I can't eat any guac.
Coriander and nudity. How did the convo get to that? Because it's Peter
that's our
and
headspace. It's me. That is what we do, isn't it?
I think I missed a few. No, I think comments have just calmed down. I think we've been rambling on too much. So I think I'm actually caught up. If you are watching and I have missed your question, I'm really sorry. I'm drinking wine and trying to flick cameras and do a bunch of stuff. So just drop them down if I missed them.
Huh? I need the hot plate to warm up. My wife's offered to cook my tortillas, but I'm just going to.
Shirin.
Hey, it's my kitchen. Leave them. No one cook them yet.
Alright, let me know.
No, yeah, it's cool. I want that to heat up anyway, so by the time I've cooked these, that will be hot. But you can put the oven on and put a tray in there, please. Would you say please, Beck? Stop being so rude.
Would you use your manners, Peter?
So we've got no more questions.
No, not at the moment. Apart from saying this is a great breakfast entertainment. Oh, what streaming device are we using?
In description. Anytime you see.
Yeah, anytime you guys are asking about gear, I do list everything down below. But to let you know, I am using Ecamm Live. It is amazing. We used to use OBS, but I found it had a heap of bugs.
We had really bad syncing bugs.
And it was really bad at syncing. So everyone would always complain that our stuff was out of sync. So we stopped using that. We've gone to Ecamm Live. It is so easy to use. It's got a beautiful interface. Absolutely love it. Other than that, we're using a Blackmagic ATEM TV presenter. What's it called again? Audient Evo 4 for the sound with Sennheiser transmittery
wireless.
thing.
Lapel mics on
Wireless lapel mics. We're using those, and this camera is on a RX, and this camera on Peter is on a Sony A7R Mark II on a DJI Ronin-CS gimbal with an 18mm Batis lens. But all of that's in the description if you didn't catch that.
Yeah, one thing I learned very quick is on YouTube channels, click on that description thing. The amount of things I'll look at, and I'll click on description, and they've put all my answers to my questions sitting in there ready for me. So just a hint, it works really well on YouTube.
YouTube.
One more lime. We're getting close. We've just got to do tortillas, the steaks. Literally, the steaks will take 2 minutes to cook. That's it.
We've only been, you've made fantastic time, Peter. We've been going for 1 hour and 55 minutes.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
It took me oh no, we're a bit behind. I'm actually slow. Took me 2 hours to do it the other night.
Well, yeah, but you've also been talking. And
oh yeah, but I was drinking with
You've been drinking with me. What am I, a chopped liver?
If you were, we'd be on the frying pan.
Go on, crack yourself up.
I'm going to, if there's no questions, I'm going to give you some answers.
Any recommendations for a good budget LED light?
No, sorry. The good ones. Although there's,
You can answer this. I need to...
No, I can't answer it because CR Kennedy's just got a new one, and I don't know what. I think, Razer, what's our HMI brand?
Yeah, Razer 7. Razer Daylight 7.
Razer have a really good HMI light. I can't tell you. Jump on the Razer site and have a look and you'll find it.
Sorry if my sound goes scratchy.
You're taking your sound off to go to the toilet. I think everybody would enjoy that. You go up there with some sound effects. So I just have to keep talking without you. All right. All right, so I'm just letting these get to, they're just going to start to bubble. I don't want to burn them. While this is happening, I've got the hot plate on outside on full. I'm trying to get that hot plate red hot. So I want to cook these steaks in basically a minute each side. I hope you're enjoying this. Beck and I need something to do, so this helps us out because the whole state of the world at the moment is not fun for us either. But we have to do with what we've got to do with. And I know that quite often I'll jump on people like deadmau5 and listen to 4 hours of him writing a song and not even talking, and I'll just have that in the background for myself while I'm doing something else. Cool. I can't even ask if you questions because I can't see the screens from where I am. Beck will be back in a minute.
Do you want me to look at them?
I don't know if anyone's asking anything. Just get some guac.
What was the last question you answered?
I don't know. That was like a minute ago. My brain's not that quick.
What streaming device are you using?
Yeah, Beck's already done that. What a time to go to the toilet.
Sorry. No, because I was also just asking.
You also
Sorry,
what?
Give me a sec. Because because there was a question for Shireen and I
Oh.
mentioned that to her. I'm sorry, I'm trying to click my thingy on. There we go. Let me.
Go
What are
off.
you doing? Oh no, I need to flip it over to my screen though.
You're gonna need to
One
flip it.
second. There we go. You'll have to stand closer to me so that they can hear you on the mic. So the question was, how does Shireen deal with Peter, like being a photographer and doing what he does? And
Well, when he started and asked me how I felt about him being a photographer, he was in the wholesale nursery and he said, I really want to do photography. And I said, well, what does your heart say? And he says, photography. I said, well, there's your answer. And I said, you know, it doesn't matter because I treat them, all the models, as my daughter. And I trust. If you trust someone, you don't have an issue with them.
yeah.
So I don't look at it like sexually or anything. I see everything he's doing and I trust him completely. So if you haven't got the trust, that's a big issue.
Well, if
to
you haven't got
start
the
off
trust,
with.
exactly, then
Yeah.
there's probably something wrong, like otherwise. and
Yeah,
that,
yeah. So if you, that's the answer.
So. You're so cute.
Except my wife could trust me to sleep naked in a bed with anybody in the world, but I couldn't trust her to be fully clothed in the same room as Robbie Williams.
Oh, she's just gonna.
Sorry?
Now she's just like awkwardly.
She awkward. Well, I'm right.
Yeah, but I wouldn't do nothing.
Yeah, right.
No, I would not.
What the Robbie?
No.
Oh my god! All right, I need to get more wines.
Are you going to ask me a question or I'm just going to...
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, can you do your
What
job?
sort of Wagyu are you using?
Sorry, what sort of Wagyu?
Yeah.
It was from... There's a really good butcher near me. I've got two really good butchers near me. One in Montrose Meats. He gets his... I'm not sure exactly where he gets his Wagyus. I throw the packet out. Sorry, I might get back to answer it later on because I'll have to dig the packaging out of the rubbish bin.
Well, the next question, what is your best advice to get a really cool, engaging website?
Depends what you're trying to sell. If you're trying to sell it to, say, portrait, wedding, that type of client, you're going to want a completely different type of page to if you're going to try and sell your website to commercial, fashion or advertising. I find with commercial, fashion and advertising, just a really good, more like a gallery type of site rather than just a picture, just a site that people can very quickly look at a lot of your work.
Why did you go really dark all of a sudden? Oh no, you lied again.
No, I went close to the wall.
Oh.
No. What the chips? For my business and doing my photography site, I'm using a really cheap. Oop, burning it.
The one, oh, should we say this way? The one that Peter uses for his website, not for workshops or Inspire, is called Neon Sky, and it's literally just a gallery. I was about to say galaxy.
And it's just you pay
Pencil
so much
clouds.
a month, and they've got all the plugins and everything to use. It's just a pre-built site. You just drop things in and move them around. It's so much cheaper than IT people. Sorry, Jared.
Not that we have an IT person sitting right next to us.
I've wasted a heap of money on having sites built and never been happy. And Neon Sky was exactly what I wanted. I just wanted a site as somewhere to show my work. I didn't want anything more than that. So it's basically a gallery site, and that's all I was after, and that's all I want. So it ticked all the boxes. I think my site cost me about $35 a month, and that gives me 3 sites if I want to use that.
But we only use the one for that.
Yeah,
Thomas
we're getting close.
said, this is great format, love the casual banter and informative talk. That is all we want to give you guys, is something a little bit light-hearted, but also...
Something away from the world at the moment.
Yeah, just something that's
The
a
world
little
is
bit
horrible.
positive. It's so horrible every time you turn on the news. So we want to give you guys something positive, but also, of course, give you guys tips on photography and answer your questions. That's our aim here. I need to stop doing that stupid voice that I do.
Yeah, why are you doing your baby voice?
I don't know. I don't know why I do it.
It's really
sorry,
funny.
guys.
Someone made a comment the other day that they hear Beck talk in her baby voice when she's doing her selling ads voice and hi guys and all that shit. But when she gets in and starts posing and talking, all of a sudden it's like this tough, powerful woman. Yeah, why do you do this?
Because I have like 2 brain cells. I don't know.
Oh, one's a tough and one's you got the pug brain cell.
I don't know. We're making people hungry.
Yeah, well,
Sorry,
I'm
but
getting
not
starving.
sorry. I can smell all of this. I've been snacking on the guac. I feel sorry for Jared who ran out of his.
Yeah, we ran it.
Coriander-less
I just get experimental with the coriander one and confirm that I don't like it.
Did you try it?
I don't think anyone heard that, but this is someone who doesn't like coriander, and he actually tried it, and he said, "Yeah, no."
I asked you how much guac you wanted.
Yeah, I underestimated
Underestimated.
how hungry I was.
That's what we're going to fill that guts in a minute.
Yeah, you can have like 4 tacos.
Sorry.
Already answered that.
Oh.
Greetings, hello, hello. Looks like we're in a log cabin.
Yeah, we're in
We are.
my place
Kind
is
of
like
are.
a cabin in the hills. What was that movie? Cabin in
Cabin in the woods.
Yeah, that is my house. It's a cabin. That's all I want. Is I love wood. I love the bush. That's what we call it in Australia. It's
The
well, they
bush.
call it forest in other countries.
Yeah,
It's only
I think.
Australians that call it bush.
Yeah, but in other countries they'd call it the forest. But yeah, Peter's house literally is like a little cabin in the middle of. Let me flick it over. If anyone is familiar with Melbourne, this is in Mount Dandenong, so it's like all covered with trees and lovely ferns, and yeah, it's just like really
Getting really
foresty.
close. 10 minutes we'll be eating.
It's really foresty up here, and it's really nice. It's always 5 degrees colder than anywhere else. It's beautiful.
Is that all our questions?
No, I'm catching up. Hi from St. John's NL. What's
In
that?
where?
I don't know. Oh, was that Newfoundland maybe? I don't know. Several feet of snow. I wish it snowed here.
We do
Light-
get snow here.
Light
Once a
reflection.
year.
Light reflection causes a lot of overexposure. What's the best way you control highly reflective ground? Sorry, the lines.
It's just hard. Shiny surfaces, is that what it's talking about? Is that what they mean by light reflection?
Yeah. Like when so they're talking about it's like snowing heaps, and they're trying to take photos, but the bounce light from the
snow's
snow.
easy because, yeah, I find snow like sand. I've never had a problem. I think direction, you either have the model with the sun behind them or in front of them. You can't have them on the side, that causes problems. Later on this year when we might, well, if we're allowed to drive more than a kilometre, our winter we might do a couple of snow shoots.
Sick.
Because I actually haven't, I've done some commercially years ago. I haven't done a snow shoot for yonks.
Yonks.
And
How old is Peter? He is 58. And when did he become a pro photographer? When you
still haven't.
So he says. Why do you tend to shoot with a tripod?
Because I can set up my frame and zoom in or do whatever, and then I can forget about it. I can concentrate on the model's expression and not have to worry about recropping every time or shooting wider and then cropping later on, because to me that's not art. You want to even look on your screen at the finished picture or on your viewfinder at what you're creating. I still strongly believe that an artist would never change a crop dramatically. They might slightly crop it in a little bit or whatever, but they would never completely change the type of crop because you created it for that crop. And I know myself that I've shown myself that I can change the model's expression just by changing the crop. Last one. Then we do the meat and then we're done.
Image of Oz asked again, how old were you when you went professional?
most likely about 35, somewhere around there. That's when I was working for the magazine. And that was shooting smelly fishermen, four-wheel drivers, mountain bike riders, goats.
What? Random. Where does most of your work come from? Existing clients, website, Instagram?
I would say very little of the original contact has come from my own website. They will come from, most of my work comes from some source of social media, either Facebook or Instagram. And then they'll go and have a look at my website from there. But yeah, that would be the most. The only problem is I hate both of those companies. I despise them. So I don't like promoting it as a way, but at the moment, yeah, it's actually the best way.
I got it right, it was Newfoundland.
Newfoundland. I don't even know, is that in America?
Canada.
Canada. Canada. Well done. You offended like 3/4 of Canada last time you said that.
I don't mean to offend you guys. I
At least you didn't
I know it is called Canada, it just kind of makes
Although I've
I've
just offended them by saying America, didn't I?
Probably.
Tortillas are all done. Look at that beautiful soft tortilla.
Let me
see that? Look how soft that is. It's like a baby's bum.
Oh my god,
You
gross.
need to wipe its bum though.
Oh.
Yeah, you can. Alright, ask, we're about to do steaks.
Alright,
home straight.
What is Dad cooking? Dad is cool. Not that he's my dad. Like, he almost kind of could be sometimes. Like, I don't know, just when you cook me dinner and give me advice, like you're kind of dad-like. But he is cooking tacos. If you've just joined in, he has made guacamole, salsa, cut up the steak, made the tortillas. We've got everything from scratch going on.
So we're in the final leg. We're going to take the steaks outside and burn the living Christ out of them.
I was going to have a cigarette, but I don't think I have time.
You're going to have to smoke while you're filming. Has he rolled you one?
Yeah.
Well, you follow me out. And you can suck on one while you're filming.
Hell yeah. All right, so I'm gonna have to, unfortunately, not answer any questions. Warren said that he's getting jealous that he's trying to get into more goat photography.
More goat photography? Goat photography is the best. Where to put my, the meat's over there, you idiot.
You are an idiot.
So,
Carl would, oh wait, no, sorry.
Give me a long-winded question I can answer while I'm burning.
Let me quickly read.
All right, you read, I'll burn.
Yes, people are saying this is fantastic, and thank you. We just really like to do this type of thing for you guys. Peter, Carl would love to see the Chuck Berry photos you spoke about earlier. Can you post some samples of those and other musos?
I would answer you if I could hear you.
He can't hear me. Great. All right. I will take my laptop. I might have to.
Sorry, what was that back? I can't hear you at all out there.
He said he would love to see the Chuck Berry photos you spoke about earlier.
Oh, I'm going to have to scan them. Yeah, well, Beck, you've seen them, Beck.
I have. All right,
yeah,
we're
I'll try and scan them. It might take us a month, but I'll
have to put little Bella down.
Cool.
And then if I put the puppy down, and take my laptop so I can keep reading. Oh my god, and mute you guys.
Bits of oils. Did you have another question or did you just...
Yes. In the studio you don't seem to use a tripod but a different kind of device which looks big and stable. Who made it and where did you get it?
So in the video, sorry?
Hang on, I'm coming out.
I can't hear you.
I'm coming out. 1 second.
So I've got this on really, really hot. That's why I left it heating up for the whole time I made the tortillas.
Jared, do you have the lighter? Never mind, Peter's still in there.
I burned my hands, it's your fault. What was the question?
In the studio, You don't seem to use a tripod, but a different kind of device.
It's called a camera stand.
Who made it and where did you get it?
If you just type in camera stand in Google, you'll find lots of people. It's lots and lots of different brands. It's been around forever. Like camera stands have been around since the 50s, I think. So it's no new. It's just most people, unless they've been in a big commercial studios, they've never seen it. Tripods are a problem because tripods, if someone trips over your tether cable,
Check what this sounds like.
it'll pull your camera off the tripod. So it's no good at all. So the camera stands are nice, heavy. They do not move. You can set your thing up. Is that really ugly light?
You're blowing out a little bit.
Yeah.
No, that's right now.
Yeah, the tripods will fall over really easy. Camera stands are really heavy. They're really smooth to lift up and down and slide around. So that's why we use them in studios. And you tend to only see it in bigger style studios. It's an old-fashioned thing, but I think every major studio I've ever been in has, like any of the big studios I've ever been in, have them for hire. Nearly done.
You're done.
Doesn't take long.
I'm not.
You're not.
That's alright.
You're pretty cooked.
Haha. I'm always cooked. Yeah, Warren just answered saying the camera stands are made by Manfrotto, KL sell them, or B&H in America. They're crazy expensive.
Yeah, they're not cheap. There's a different brand that, the one I have in the studio, you can't buy anymore. They don't exist anymore. But there's lots and lots of brands that made them.
You were laughing at me saying, is there a lighter when I stood next to a barbecue?
That's called Beckism.
Yeah.
She does that all the time.
I do.
People pick on me for picking on Beck, but then when they see what Beck's like, they understand why it's, what are you doing?
I had hair in my mouth.
An air in your mouth.
No, hair.
Oh, hair. I thought you said air.
Apparently, yeah, it's hard to get a good goat photographer these days.
Hard to get a good photographer.
Good goat photographer.
Oh, good goat photographer. What the goat? Yeah, I know a couple. There's Billy, he's a pretty good goat. Did you get it?
Yeah.
Do I have to explain it to you?
I got it. No, I got it. Don't worry. The dad joke landed. Yeah, people are now just sending through. I've actually caught up. I can't believe I've caught up.
No,
oh, wait.
people just are bored with us. They've all gone to bed. They're all sick and tired of our crappy, or they got hungry as hell and they've turned off because they can't eat it. There we go.
I'd be pretty hungry if I wasn't about to devour this. It looks fatty though. Is it going to be fatty?
No, it's not going to be fatty. Shut the friggin' fatty up. Fat puts flavour. I'm not giving you any fat, all right?
Thank you.
All right. You're going to have to ask questions loudly.
I will.
With your hand over the mic while I prep this.
I will. Jared can follow with the gimbal. Because Jared
Most
is
likely
the
just
best.
Wander into there.
The best personal assistant.
Just let that rest for a minute.
You guys now get to see what happens. Like, I just stand here and smoke cigarettes while Peter cooks me dinner. This is so
Hey,
incriminating.
anybody who wants a certain, like, Beck and I are just doing whatever we feel like doing because we got no idea what we're doing. If you've got anything you'd like to see us do, like we had someone complain to us today that we don't shoot dark people. I have shot plenty of dark models, but in Melbourne, Australia, we don't have that many dark models in Australia, and then the ones that we do have might want to work with me, or they mightn't like my look, or they only want paid shoots. Well, I'm not going to pay a model to test them. How am I going to run a business like that? And if my clients aren't booking dark models, I'm not shooting them. That comes down to that.
But you don't have a racist phone in your body.
No.
It's nothing, and I don't know, I feel like the question kind of came off. I don't know if they meant it that way or not, but...
We get asked a few questions that people might think that we might be racist, or we might be anti, well, anything to do with weight.
Oh yeah, we always get asked, why don't you shoot curvy models?
Stefania is curvy, Natasha is curvy. There's plenty of models I shoot that are curvy.
But curvy people
But
don't
they're
feel
curvy people that
comfortable.
like being in front of a camera. There's a model, or not a model, there's a person I know who, I'm not going to say what she does because it'll give away who the person is, but she would love to be photographed and say, oh no, I wouldn't hate to see the photos, so I don't like what I look like. And so if someone doesn't like what they look like, when you lift a camera up to them, they're not going to want you to take a photo, and that's a problem. I'm 100% happy photographing any
Anyone.
size person in the world as long as they're happy with it. I am the only photographer in Australia to get a female centerfold into a magazine that always had men centerfolds in, always. I'm the only photographer to get a female centerfold into a magazine that was aimed for women to look at hot men. And she was, I think, size 18 or size 20 at the time. But she was 100% happy with herself. So I was working with her and with Stefania, another person that's 100% happy with herself in front of a camera. When it comes to Chinese, Indians, dark-skinned, whatever, if I'm booked commercial, I don't care your skin color, I don't care your eye shape or anything like that. But in the commercial world, one of my clients is two Vietnamese sisters who predominantly make clothes for Vietnamese people who live in Australia. Their cut of their clothes and the style of the colouring of their clothes is everything that Vietnamese people like. But they will never ever use a Vietnamese model because their clients who are Vietnamese will say, I'm not buying Vietnamese shit. So it's the world, the people who are buying stuff are the racist people, because I love every race in the world.
Everyone has their own beauty.
Everyone has their own beauty. We're all humans at the end of the day, and also even animals. I like all animals.
Yeah.
I put up with Beck.
Yes.
Oh, asshole.
But
Anyway.
that's exactly it. Like once you, it just comes down to who we can shoot, who's available, who wants to do shoots, and who's comfortable.
All right, we'll come to the moment.
The moment.
The moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the first one, and then the others can follow.
People are saying goat equals greatest of all time. I did know that because I am a millennial.
You're not millennial. Stop making yourself out something you're not.
Anyone who's watching, please tell me. I was born in 1993. If
No,
I'm not a millennial...
No, millennials, I have to be born after the millennial, not before.
No, it's not.
That's millennial,
That is, yeah.
right?
Peter's right.
You have to be born after the millennial. You can't be a millennial if you're born before it.
Jared's not ganging up on me. This is so unfair.
But
He's not ganging up on you, he's being honest.
we're educating you.
We're edumating. My God, she called me a baby boomer. No, my parents were the baby boomers. Every friend of mine I grew up had 2 kids. We didn't have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We only had 2, so we didn't boom.
Well, I put into Google what generations
Oh,
were...
Google. You put into Google, I have a pain in my big toe. Sorry, you've got brain cancer.
Here we
Am I
go.
right?
No, I stopped Googling my symptoms. Luke, I hope I'm saying your name right, is commending me on my ability to have a wine, cigarette, and a laptop all at once. Yes, I am talented. I do say so myself.
Ask her to type.
I shouldn't smoke. I know I shouldn't. I was not born.
Why don't you say what you
yesterday.
normally say? All things hot smoke.
No. I know I shouldn't smoke. I'm actively trying to give up. I only smoke when I'm drinking, and I am drinking at the moment, so of course I'm going to smoke. Sorry, I also don't like people telling me what I should and shouldn't do. I know it's bad for me, but I enjoy it, so I will keep doing it, but I will keep trying to give up. Stay tuned. People aren't tired of it.
I don't know how to turn the oven off.
Confidence
Cherie,
is key.
you need to turn the oven off. I've got no idea. I don't cook in ovens.
How am I feeling about Peter not wearing me today? I did make
She
a
already
comment.
made a comment.
I made a comment.
She
I
made
was
a comment.
Like, you're not wearing my top.
I'm actually wearing Beck underwear. I'll show you. No, I'm not going to. Should see Beck's face.
That was absolutely revolting. Jesus Christ.
Well,
Okay.
All right, so important time.
Okay.
That's right.
Important time.
Do it properly. Important time. So this is, so I'm going to cut against the grain, cut across the grain of the meat. You'll see that it. So I'm going to do this, I'm just going to do it once, and then
Get in there.
Beck and Jared can do their own. Alright, so we get a nice. You're right, you don't want me to move this way.
No, no. It's not.
Put the tortilla down. We get a bit of my 1,000 islands, or whatever I called it. Billion islands. Corona Island sauce. Then we get some nice tender steak. Put that over the top of it. Then we got a handful of onions, or you can use a spoon. I should have used a spoon, shouldn't I?
Probably, but it's fine. I'm professional.
Some coriander for everybody except Jared. Then we got a lime, and we squeeze our lime over it. Then we've got, what's that mayonnaise? It's Japanese mayonnaise.
Kewpie.
Kewpie mayonnaise. And you just, I know this is not
Mexican.
Mexican. You can all crucify me, but this just adds this tiny bit of sweetness. And then to finish it off, for Rid and I, the best sauce in the world.
There we go.
There you go. So, not too much because we want to still taste that beautiful steak. Come on, dribble.
Dribble.
Oh, come on. It's one of those sauces just going to go kablonk and dump a heap.
Kablonk and donk. Is that the technical
Kablonk
term?
and donk. So that's it. We roll that up nice and tight.
Have you outdone yourself?
2 hours in the making.
Yeah.
Put it so everyone can see your face as you make yours.
All right. This has only got 16% though.
All right, 16% will get by.
Are you sure? All right.
Yeah, I'm just going to.
We do have questions.
Oh, look at that, Nate. You make you and Jared a taco. And my wife.
What are some photographers you admire? We answered that just before.
Helmut Newton.
Scroll back and you'll find
scroll
it.
back. Peter Lindbergh, Patrick Demichelia.
Peter, what's wrong with millennials?
It's only the millennials who weren't millennials claiming they're millennials.
Haha.
Yeah.
Shit, I don't have my RX turned off, but this is actually going to die any second.
Why have you turned off your RX then?
The battery died.
I told you this would happen.
Oh, you.
You've got 15%. It's fine.
I've got 15. Yeah, it goes from 15 to 0.
Yeah, it does.
Just put a battery in here quickly.
Okay.
No, is that still filming me?
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing against anybody, but I get to see all different levels of people. I do not see Beck as a millennial. I've got other people I know who are millennials. There's some models I work with who are true millennials, and Beck is not like them. I think Beck just doesn't want to age. She's loving the fact that at 20, what are you, 26?
27.
27, she still gets asked it everywhere we go
For ID.
for idea, and she absolutely loves the fact.
Peter gets so annoyed with it, he actually arcs up at people. It's like, I know I'm old.
You're old.
I had someone actually laugh, like, they asked for ID and I handed it to them, like, oh, sorry. And I was like,
Are you going to finish or are you just going to use your nails? Like,
I'm just trying to put this back in.
yeah, I've got a couple. Sheree, my wife's hiding, she's scared. You can come in and make yourself some tacos.
Bless her cotton socks.
We're on.
All right, it's on. I'm going to flick it to Me. This is on now.
Look at me.
Boy. Now I'll change this one because it's on that one now. You can flip that around.
I'm putting it onto you so everyone can watch how you change things with those stupid friggin' nails.
I lost one before. I'm sorry. Like
I've got a
lost
question.
it.
Everybody wants to know
Lost it.
how you wipe your bum with those nails.
Okay, so this is how I wipe it. It's the weirdest question. Like, out of everything that people can ask me about my nails, they ask me how I wipe my bum. Like, I don't know how everyone else is wiping their bum, but I don't use my nails to wipe my bum. Like, what are you guys doing? It's weird. Anyways, questions. People are just talking about age groups now.
Age groups?
People are saying try vaping. I've tried vaping, but unfortunately I have an addiction to nicotine. It doesn't work for me.
No, but you can buy nicotine vape. Seriously, you can get nicotine in vape.
Illegally.
Illegally, yeah. You've got to buy it from New Zealand. Except they're shut
Warren's
down.
saying he's surprised I can even eat tacos with these nails. You'd be surprised at what I can do with these nails. I can do everything. Oh my god, except have a battery for this camera. No. If they're upside down, they're empty. That's my system.
We haven't gone through 4 batteries, Beck.
Yeah, I got one. It just wasn't out here.
Yeah, make yourself a taco. I'm going to go in a second.
Yeah.
Because Beck is so slow at doing her job.
Oh my god, it's all my fault. All my fault. Oh, was it not upside down?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, I didn't see it.
This is not a very educational.
It's been so educational. People have said that they actually love how educational and relaxed it has been.
How relaxed.
Kind of relaxed. I've only been stressing a little bit, if you guys can't tell. What's everyone saying? They do wine-flavoured vape juice. Don't tell
There
me
you
that.
go, red wine vape.
Don't tell me that. That's like
What do you want
bad
for?
news.
You didn't want onions? I got some.
Let me flick it over. Shireen's making a taco.
She's
So
making
cute.
it.
There we go. Now Shireen's doing her. All right, now me and Jared will start making our tacos, and then I think
I'll come round and ask you a couple of questions while I eat and when you're making.
Okay.
And then we might wrap it up so we can get back to drinking.
Yes.
We don't drink, by the way, we're Australians.
Oh wait, what am I?
Was there a last question before you walk away, or
No, I was just walking away with a bottle of wine in my hand.
you wouldn't do that? Oh my god! Is it on this side?
It's
Cool.
It's filming over here.
That's all right.
Hey guys, from this
You
side.
can
of
do
the
that.
kitchen.
I'll jump over the other side with my. I must admit, I'm a real fussy. In Australia, a lot of places sell tacos and they call them tacos. They're not tacos. And when you go to places like LA and eat some of the best tacos out of the amazing food trucks in LA,
You want
and you
to?
come back to Australia and you see what the tacos don't taste like. But spending a couple of weeks experimenting that, I've got this tasting like street tacos. So even though it mightn't be traditional, it tastes good.
If you want to flip it to you, Peter, you just push that
I don't
button.
want me, I want questions.
okay.
Oh, here we go. I can't read, I've got vape. Oh, there we go, vape. Hey guys, can you actually eat on your own?
So this is a problem with Peter.
Somebody
reading-
wants to see, didn't want to see an eating stream, they only want to see a cooking stream. Can you not eat on camera?
We won't. Like,
We
we're
won't,
just
it's
making it. What was next? Onions.
So, yeah, technically a millennial? Nah, she's not. She's,
I am.
no,
I'm
you're
totally
not.
millennial.
You were emo. Emos weren't millennial. Sorry, emos never fell into millennial.
Yes, they did. I might be a bit cheeky with mine. I might add like a dollop of guac. Should I put too much coriander? Sorry, see it.
Early 80s is millennial? Nah. Source, Wikipedia. Yeah, everyone knows Wikipedia's wrong. So yeah, Oxford Dictionary, we know that's so English. Let's control
That's very
by the
correct.
Queen, so it won't be right. Anyway, thanks for the facts.
Okay, I'm going to see how this first one goes.
Add cheese. Nah, I can't put cheese in the taco.
I normally do, but like
I
I don't
can't,
make
nah.
street tacos at home. I make like Australian tacos. What was next, Cupie? Yours just looks
I would love to do, Lachlan, I love to do large format. And yes, I'm very, very much considering buying a large format camera to do my work. Unfortunately, for the last 10 years, I haven't had the time really to do my work. I've been too busy doing other things, but I think in my twilight years, being a baby boomer, if I survive the boomer remover, oh my god, is it a bit nice? Look at Bex.
This is so amazing. Holy shit.
Tell us what you really think, Bex.
Not sure.
Don't give our dog friggin' tacos.
She likes it. She loves it.
No,
She loves it.
no, she loves food.
You Papa Gill. You Papa Gill.
Anyway, well, we just, yeah, Beck's gonna poo herself.
Oh, I forgot the hot sauce. It's alright.
Hot sauce.
Ah.
Oh, I'm way behind the all these. How'd I get so far behind?
I haven't. Do you want me to come around
This
and
has been
ask
far more entertaining than TV, no ads. By the way, we're doing an ad for your nail company. So Beck's Nails are brought to you by Scratch Your Eyes Out.
Scratch your
My nails were brought
No,
to you by an amazing
They
girl.
don't want to know.
Okay.
They break, they fell off. Don't give her a bad rap.
No, it's my fault. I'm rough with them.
Oh
my god, these tacos are so good.
Alright, so A7R4, don't need to go there, don't need the megapixels. I know my Hasselblad has a high megapixel, but I didn't buy it for the megapixel, I bought it for the sensor size. I would love the Hasselblad 50 to be a Hasselblad 40 on the 100mm sensor. And I'm 100% happy with Sony being a 40 megapixel. I'd rather be 30 megapixel on the full frame sensor. So from that side of things, yeah, I'm not a megapixel junkie. How many of you guys are actually printing? And if you're cropping to print, it means you're not being a good photographer. It means you're shooting and then trying to cut a picture out of a picture.
Bought a Cambo 4x5. It's just so much effort to do a photo with.
I know, but the photo would be so nice when you did it.
How do you submit content to magazines? Do you think it's even worth it in this day and age?
Not at the moment, no. No, we get a lot of... What do we do, 1 a month?
About that.
We get a lot, but we never see much feedback. We get some more feedback from I get more feedback from one of my blogs on my own little blog page than I do on any magazine.
Is that empty?
That one's empty. There's a full one behind you.
Was that far behind?
Yeah.
So that's how far behind it is. You walk around here, it's still there.
That's what they're viewing.
Yeah, I know, that's ages behind.
I know.
Well, do you want to do a wrap up? But I want to see what the camera looks from here. Should we walk back to
I've
the
already
other
flipped
side?
it over.
Yeah, but I want to see if it looks... There we go.
There we go. And I've changed the view now.
Oh, well done. That's sort of nut.
Wait.
Oh, Papa Gill.
Oh, Jaws.
Sorry guys, Peter's now looking at us live in live time because we're delayed.
Oh,
Yeah, you can look at it there. Sorry, I forgot to tell you about that camera. I mean that laptop.
so you want to do a wrap up rather than show everyone else eating?
Probably should. I am sorry to everyone whose questions we couldn't get to, but yes, we are in the middle of eating now, and I'm sure you guys don't want to sit here and listen to us go much.
Each and drinks.
Eat and drink. But thank you for tuning in. I hope this was entertaining.
You forgot something.
No, I hadn't forgotten. I was getting to it.
Right, well done.
I'm sure that you guys don't want to sit here and watch us crunch in your ears, but we hope this was entertaining. As I said, recipe will be down below. Any questions we didn't answer, please leave them in comments. We will answer them because we do see every single comment and we will answer your questions. We are doing another live stream on Tuesday after Easter with a certain celebrity. If you guys are familiar with the Real Housewives of Melbourne, you might know her. Her name is Gimbal and she is absolutely awesome. Peter's filming her new music video and we will be live streaming from the studio of behind the scenes of Peter filming her music video. I will post times in the next coming day or two. Look out for that. And if you want to join us next Tuesday for that, we'll see you there.
Sure. I've got one I've nearly finished, which is Rebecca Poo. So that'll be going on Inspire, and we've got a YouTube version of it coming up very soon. I'll hopefully have it done over Easter. And I think I've got 2 for YouTube coming up and 4 for Inspire, so that's my Easter gone. But anyway, thank you for joining in and putting up with Beck. And I'm
putting up with Peter's dad jokes.
I'm going to go eat more food and drink more drink. You can wind off.
All right. Bye guys, thank you, we appreciate it and we love you and all of that nice fluffy stuff. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay positive.
No.